million shots in the 92nd day in office.
And the White House is calling on employers to offer paid time off so workers can get vaccinated, with small and medium-sized businesses getting a tax credit. House Democrats plan to bring legislation to the floor again tomorrow that would make the District of Columbia the 51st state. House Majority Whip Steny Hoyer.
In no other democratic nation in the world does the capital city of that nation not have a vote in their parliament.
But Hoyer admits without 60 votes in the Senate, the measure has little chance of moving forward. Air raid sirens reported in Israel, in the desert town that's home to the country's secretive nuclear reactor. The report comes amid heightened tensions between Israel and Iran. America is listening to Fox News.
Finally, get curcumin and CoQ10 together. Stop
This
aging
is
now.
the Truth Frequency Radio Network. TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
This is not a valid menu option. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. Queen Elizabeth turned 95 years old today, and you might have heard there was a scare in the UK at London Bridge on the day of her 95th birthday. That is interesting in light of the fact on March 17th, 2017, The Guardian and other publications printed that the operation for when Queen Elizabeth dies, it has a name, and it's called London Bridge is Down. And in Gematria, London Bridge is Down equals 95. On her 95th birthday, a scare at the London Bridge. They had to shut down the station there for a moment. Of course, her husband just died at age 99 on April 9th, the 99th day of the year. And we'll see what that means for the Queen, her longevity. Of course, Jimmy Carter's vice president just went by the numbers, as we covered in recent days, part of that 90-something club. But, again, I don't like to talk too much about the royal family. I've never understood why people are so fascinated with them. Again, just very boring and, you know, not to make things surface level, but at the same time, very ugly people. Probably in more ways than one. But, again, normally if you're getting the tabloid press, you're at least attractive, and that doesn't meet, or that criteria doesn't meet anybody in the royal family. Anyhow, something that I do find more interesting is another case of the 201s. And if you're new here, we've been talking about 201 nonstop for over a year. We really got fixated on this number with Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation of October 18th, 2019, 1 month before the outbreak in Wuhan, China. The latest 201 is the reported killing by Columbus, Ohio police of the teenager wielding a knife, threatening another woman. The killing of Micaiah Bryant, which in Gematria equals 201. And if you've watched the video footage of the police officer driving to the scene who responds and shoots Micaiah Bryant, you can see the whole time he's driving there, his computer is in clear display that it's computer number 201. It's numbered with I don't know if it's a white piece of tape or what it is, but you can clearly see it on his computer as he's driving to the scene, 201. And a lot of the media, if you look at the thumbnail of the clip they've put out of him driving there and responding and shooting, it's 1229 in length. That's interesting because the number 1229 is the 201st prime. And this killing comes the day of the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict. And again, the whole George Floyd thing was a massive 201 ritual. Remember, the full name George Perry Floyd is 201. And immediately after he was killed, you got a guest in the news named Lamar Ferguson who said the Asian officer in the George Floyd killing film, he said that same officer kicked in his teeth in 2014, and his name was Lamar Ferguson, which equaled 201, reminding of Ferguson, Missouri, in 2014, where the victim was Michael Brown, and Michael Brown equals 201, like Lamar Ferguson, like, again, Ma'Khia Bryant, also like George Perry Floyd. And then they gave you the mother of George Floyd's child, Roxy Washington, who was another 201. And in Paris, France, they protested with the names George Floyd and Adama Traoré together. Adama Traoré was killed in Paris, France, in a similar way to how George Floyd was killed on July 19th, 2016, the 201st day of the leap year, exactly 201 weeks before the killing of George Floyd on May 25th, 2020. And remember, they were going to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, but days before the reported George Floyd killing, Steve Mnuchin, who went to Yale Skull and Bones, he said that they were no longer going to debut the Harriet Tubman $20 bill. And then George Floyd got busted with the counterfeit 20. Well, Harriet Tubman in Gematria equals 201. And then this year, Cicely Tyson died, who played Harriet Tubman the evening before the 201st birthday of Harriet Tubman. And again, these are just the 201s connected to George Floyd. This 201 number has been everywhere in news and with pandemic-related stories. Again, the Event 201 simulation. And remember what 201 is. It's the number of the Jesuit order. It's their important number in history. When they were saved by Catherine the Great, it was with 201 Jesuits. Right now we're living in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, who lives in Suite 201. And his birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equals 201, just like Ignatius of Loyola equals 201, the founder of the Jesuits, and so on. You know, even hit TV shows like The Office, set in Scranton, Jesuit town, where the Jesuit, school is. In The Office, they show the school's flag each episode, the Jesuit school. The Office ran 201 episodes. Joe Biden's from the Jesuit town of Scranton. Remember, Beau Biden died at 46, 201 days before the Pope's birthday, and the president of Georgetown, who did the funeral, he also did the inauguration for Joe Biden on 20/1, like 201 in D.C., the land where the Jesuits have been longer than the federal government, and his name equals 201 as well. So, and again, that we're still on the shorter part of the list. There's just so many 201s, but they just keep piling up, and you got to ask yourself, what are the odds that on the day of the George Floyd, Justice for George Floyd. By the way, if you guys haven't read my book, Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus, has a big chapter on George Floyd and Kobe Bryant and how all these things are related. But again, the Lakers are originally from Minneapolis. LeBron James from Ohio, like Ma'Khia Bryant. But and Kobe died in a 201 ritual as well. Catholic Mass 201, traveling from Catholic Mass supposedly. But if you have not read my book, again, this whole 201 pattern is laid out. And again, the point I make in the book is this agenda as leading us into this police surveillance state. Yesterday, during the George Floyd-related, trial with the verdict for Derek Chauvin guilty on all 3 charges, the headlines were that Minneapolis was fortified with police and National Guard. And then whether you're watching CNN or Fox, the one thing that they were all agreeing on is thank God for cameras and the person who recorded it, because without the recording on the video camera, none of this would have ever happened. So again, they're giving praise to the surveillance state, cameras everywhere. You know, a lot of people who watch news and want to be famous, they might be thinking, man, maybe I should start filming more things. Maybe catch something, you know, whether it's a police officer or otherwise, and get it on the news, and I'll be famous. Again, they're building this surveillance state. They're conditioning us to accept the surveillance state. With COVID, we've accepted that big tech and Big Brother are keeping tabs on our locations and our patterns in the time of the pandemic in the name of our safety. Again, all of these stories have the same general purpose: to condition us to having Big Brother, having a watchful eye on us at all times, keeping us secure from all things. Again, the military police surveillance state. And remember, the Jesuits, who go by the number 201, are a military order. And their big mottos: order out of chaos, divide and conquer. And think about how all these stories are doing just that. So the other thing is when they, by the way, in the book, I talk about the Justice for George Floyd sign, you know, the night the news broke or in the days after, and the Lakers and Kobe Bryant, because now we have Micaiah Bryant on the same day, right? But I talk about how the sign Justice for George Floyd, which the media showed everywhere, equals 110 like Minnesota. Remember how Dave Chappelle did the skit for George Floyd titled 846 because he said he was born at 846? Maybe Dave Chappelle will come out and say he was actually born at 929 now, and he'll do one called 929 this year. But Dave Chappelle 110 like Minnesota, like Justice for George Floyd. Again, how I made the cover of my book, Clever 110 on the cover. If you read the book, everything comes together through the number 110, which has to do with prophecy and prophecy being contrived. But yesterday, the Justice for George Floyd, April 20th, that was the 110th day of the year, on Adolf Hitler's birthday, where Adolf Hitler's 110 and President's 110. And, you know, he's the evil white racist, like Derek Chauvin got to be guilty as the evil white racist on, you know, Adolf's birthday. But Adolf Hitler with the alphabetic order is 110. With the alphabetic order and rules numerology, it's 56. And he supposedly committed suicide at 56. So is Society of Jesus. So is Black Lives Matter. Anyway, they're going to do the sentencing for Derek Chauvin exactly 8 weeks later, which is 56 days. And what's interesting about that is that date is June 15th. And that date's written 15/6 like 156. Remember, George Floyd has a lot of parallels to 9/11. They said that the officer was on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds at first, just like how the first plane hit at 8:46, and George Floyd in Gematria is 119. The date 9/11 can be written 9/11 or 119. 9/11's the 156th prime. And now they've put out the new officer's name who killed Micaiah Bryant. Her name is his name, Nicholas Reardon, equals 156. Just like the sentencing will be June 15th. And again, understand every last detail in this George Floyd saga is all by the numbers. And again, literally every last detail. The girl who's getting all the praise for the camera, Darnella Frazier, her name in Gematria doesn't equal 201. Surprise, finally a different number. It equals 255. Like how the George Floyd killing was reportedly 25/5, the 25th day of the 5th month. And then the guilty verdict, where she got all the praise, you know, they're saying without her and recording that, you know, it probably never would have happened. But that was April 20th, the day leaving 255 days left in the year. So the story begins on 25/5. And then, you know, it comes to this big climax on the day leaving 255 days left in the year, which again is also the 110th day of the year, and Justice for George Floyd is 110 like Minnesota. So, again, it's exactly what we've been saying all year. You learn the code, well, not all year, what we've been saying for almost 10 straight years now. You learn this knowledge, you see right through the news headlines, you see who's responsible, you see why they put their stamp on it. Again, the reason they do this is because the Jesuits were created by Jews who converted to Catholicism, and they brought with it the knowledge of Kabbalah, where in Kabbalah's Book of Formation, it says God created the world with numbers, letters, and words, and that's why they're using this code, playing God over the masses in the way that it's believed that God operates. And remember, there's the other half of Kabbalah that's called the Klippoth, which is about essentially using the knowledge for evil. And That's what we expose each day, the evil half. So, from the Queen's little London Bridge thing to the latest Micaiah Bryant, to the Darnella Frazier, those are some of the biggest headlines right now. And again, for those of you guys who don't follow my website, GematriaEffect.news, check out my latest post if you're into the Ripple XRP thing. I think you might find this post very interesting. It'll be right there. And I think we'll go out to the calls. Before I do that, though, one more thing. The brother of George Floyd, who is somebody, even though I've been following the story and writing about it all year, I haven't really seen this brother before, but now he's here, Philonise Floyd. And he's going around with the line, "My brother's doing time, doing life in the dirt, so Derek Chauvin needs to do life in prison." That's what he wants to see. Life in the dirt equals life in prison. And I guess that's the next thing that could outrage people, is if he doesn't get life, if he gets a 20-year sentence for the 2020 killing, something like that. And I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if it is a 20-year sentence. But anyway, this brother's name, Philonise Floyd, has the same gematria as George Floyd, equating to 65. And the ruling was April 20th, 2021. Date was 65 numerology. Remember, on June 5th, a date that can be written 6-5, they painted Black Lives Matter in the streets of Washington, D.C. in tribute to George Floyd. But yeah, all of this is truly theater. And again, with the same old repetitive numbers. I got to tell you before I go out to the calls. Again, I was just at Gonzaga University, which is one of the nation's Jesuit universities, where the school's named after Aloysius de Gonzaga, a name that equals 201, and they just played in the college basketball championship on the 201st day of the school's age, established September 17th. And again, don't forget Elgin Baylor, who went to the Jesuit Seattle University, died 201 days, or his birthday was 201 days before the championship, but he died during the tournament. And then the Baylor coach who won the championship over to the Jesuit school, he did it 201 days from his own birthday. And then right after the game, another former Baylor player died, and he had the same birthday as Elgin Baylor, September 16th, which means the championship was 201 days after his birthday as well. But yeah, just the same numbers everywhere. Mondale just died on Jimmy Carter's 201st day of his age. Jimmy Carter was president. Mondale was vice president. He just died on the 201st day of Jimmy Carter's age. Again, D.C., the land of the Jesuits, where you become president and vice president on 20/1, like 201. So anyway, I mean, I was just going to say, I was at Gonzaga sharing this knowledge, and I would say about 90% of the students, and I was explaining things very clearly with just serious examples, and 90% of the students just thought it was all a coincidence. Elgin Baylor. I was like, you guys really think that's a coincidence that Elgin Baylor, this basketball star who went to the other Jesuit college in Washington State, dies during the tournament, and then Baylor beats the other Jesuit school, Gonzaga? Again, there's only 27 Jesuit universities in the nation, and 2 are in Washington State, which is something to think about because the first one is named after George Washington. That's Georgetown in D.C. But yeah, it's just not a good look for humanity. Gonzaga is a hard school to get into. You know, these are supposedly some of the nation's brightest students, and they think this is all a coincidence. It's like I've said before, you know, education is indoctrination. Some people are good at following instructions and taking tests, but very few people in society have, like, I don't know, true critical thinking skills. Because I don't think you can possibly come to the conclusion that this is a coincidence if you have good critical thinking skills. It's just, again, it's like today, Micaiah Bryant 201, they put out a video of the killing, 12:29 in length, the 201st prime, with the police car, with the 201 on the computer driving there. I mean, come on. Okay, let's go out and take some calls before we hit into the commercial break. And I think it is my imam to start the show. How you doing?
Hey, darling. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you just fine. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta yell at you.
Okay.
what is the most important thing about this agenda? What got it started?
The most important, you mean like the single most important thing they're trying to accomplish?
No, the single most important thing that started this whole event.
Do you mean the supposed pandemic?
Yeah, the COVID.
Well, is it not Event
it's
201?
like, huh?
Not Event 201, what would it be?
Well, there were things that happened before Event 201. Clinics happened before Event 201.
Oh, sure, like
didn't it?
Agenda 21.
Right, and that happened too. But the whole thing that they based this entire event on is a virus, which is a lie. It's fraudulent.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Multiple times. Huh?
Oh, okay, I see the point you're making. Okay.
So the point I'm making is, if it's a lie, and you are on live interviews with people and talking with them on the street, and they go, "Well, is COVID real?" and you go, "Yeah," and you agree. What is that? It's because you don't know. You're not sure that COVID is a lie.
Well, again, it's just like what I always say to people is a lot of people got sick in Washington State before this was in the news. Some people got it in November.
Right.
But something was going through Washington.
But people get.
Something was going through Washington.
The thing is that people get sick every year.
But again, whatever was going through was what a lot of people thought was the worst sickness they ever had, and that was true for May and I too. So I mean, there was something going on.
Well, there is something, but the problem is that you're basing the something on previous propaganda and indoctrination toward what a virus is, right? I mean, you don't know whether what you came in contact with was a toxic poison. You don't know if it was from chemtrails or the water or the air. You know, it's like Sweet Lady could have contracted some bacteria at school and brought it home to you. You don't know what caused that. But we do know, I know, that it wasn't COVID. I know that because I did the research, and the research is fraudulent. And all the SARS-CoV research is fraudulent. And the URL that I gave you, I mean, Dr. Kaufman, you don't have to take his word for it. I didn't take his word for it. You know, when he put out that vid, I was like, well, wait a minute. You know, people get the flu and then they pass it on, right? So I went and got the names that he had on the research there. And it says that CDC is where the research is located. And I read it, and guess what? It was fraudulent. It was fake. It was a lie. And everybody is basing this entire world shutdown on a lie, and they need to know that. And there's no reason for anyone on your channel, if they're seeking truth, not to have already done the research on the research. But when you tell people,
again, I don't think what I'm saying. I don't think what I'm saying is inaccurate though, because it does seem that there's something out there that is a little bit harsher. That it's like a severe flu that seems to be targeting elderly and people that already have some severe health problems. It seems like it's a threat to them on a slightly greater scale, not much greater, but slightly greater than the typical flu and pneumonia. Do you disagree?
Okay, I got hit with something in 2009, you know, but I don't know what caused it. It did cause pneumonia. It caused it overnight with no warning. It was amazing. It was frightening.
Right, so that's all I'm saying is it just seems like they probably have put something out there because there's some people they want to get rid of.
You can't label it COVID. You can't agree with people that it's COVID.
Oh, sure. Well, what I always say to... Well, what... I don't. Well,
a lie.
But what I always tell people is I say, look up that when coronavirus was coined. It was coined in 1968, and it was coined as, you know, the seasonal cold flu. It was in the same category. It was the same type of thing.
Yeah, but guess what? It was its viruses. It has never been isolated either.
Oh, sure. I'm not disagreeing with you that we get fed a lot of BS and we have this misunderstanding. But when people come up to me and are like, "What are you saying? Are you saying it's totally fake?" I'm like, "Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's an agenda. There's things they want to do. They want to get rid of certain people. They want to put in a surveillance state. They want to concentrate power. So, you know."
And that's true.
Yeah,
That is true.
I can't argue with them on because again, like I don't, it's not like I have Dr. Kaufman there to pull out of my pocket in those moments and lay down the
Oh, but
facts.
if you read the research, you would have the proof right there.
I know, but then that's the thing about people will always point to some other packet of research or whatever the mainstream's promoting. So I don't try to argue in ways that like give people a way out essentially.
Well, I know you want to give them way out, but that's the base problem. Because if people learned that they have to go read that research and find out that's fake, then the whole event doesn't have a leg to stand on. You see what I'm saying?
Sure. So if somebody comes up to you and you got your COVID as an agenda sign on, and somebody comes up and says that COVID is fake, how are you responding to that?
I give them the URLs. I say, go watch this, get the names, go read the research, the actual research that this whole thing was based on, and see whether or not it's fake. I mean, if you have a 7th grade education, you can read that research and see what they did and what they didn't do. And they didn't do what they needed to do, even though they know what to do. They didn't do it. And yet they still said, well, you know, this research, we passed Koch's postulates. We passed Rivers. Well, no, they didn't. So they haven't purified. They haven't isolated. They haven't identified this. You can go on the CDC right now and see if they've identified it, and they'll say, no, we haven't. So it's all based on an obvious lie. You know what they do. They give you an obvious lie, and then they go, well, you're too stupid to read the research. You're not ever going to see what we put right in front of your face.
Well, sure. Well, I think just pointing out that when it was created, it was coined as the seasonal cold and flu. I think that's enough right there to open up people's eyes. It's like, have we ever shut down the world for the seasonal cold or flu before? So.
And that's a good point. But if you show them there's a research, yeah, just go read it, people. It's a research. Go find out it's fraudulent. You know, they've scared you to death over nothing.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you for setting the record straight.
I love you anyway. You have a good night.
All right, yeah, you take care. You have a good night.
Have Sweet Lady read it.
Okay, yeah, she's a big skeptic on everything, that's for sure. So
I'll send her everything she needs to. She can just click the link and go there and find it. Okay.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. You have a good rest of your night. All right.
You're welcome.
All right,
I love you. Bye.
All right, bye. Now, oh, there it is right there. I was like, technically the music and commercial is supposed to be on. The music. It's off.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again, so I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move.
When you have a great melody,
a song lasts forever.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smart car, smartphone, or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio. I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
For 5,000 years, the world was ruled with wooden ships by one man. 242 years ago, a small group of free men crafted a new nation built on liberty and freedom. Global elites have been fighting to destroy this new nation called America ever since. Based on actual events, Charm of Favor tells a true story of how they corrupted the election system. They infiltrated federal agencies and murdered witnesses, judges, and even presidents to keep from being caught. Now, the largest and wealthiest crime syndicate the world has ever known has been drawn out of the shadows. They have killed hundreds of Americans and recently attempted to assassinate half our congressmen. Still, they escape arrest through an almost supernatural charm of favor. Read Charm of Favor and be prepared to open your eyes to what may lie just around the corner. Charm of Favor is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker, and it is that time of the show where we go out to Rambo, who's got something always brilliant for us, and let's get him on right now. How you doing, Rambo?
Well, I'm good. Thanks again, Zach.
That's good to hear.
Remember the issue I brought up before about how a lot of my screenshots have disappeared from the website.
Right.
They still haven't come back.
Okay. I am sending the message again. He's supposed to be able to get them to regenerate, so...
Yeah, I was looking at some of my older posts, and they're missing images. So it's hundreds of images, actually.
Yeah, it's weird that yours got hit so hard. I notice when I go to my older posts, like, there'll be 10 images in the post, and maybe 1 or 2 are missing. But, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so, by today's article I just posted up on GematriaEffectNews is titled The Sentencing of Derek Chauvin and the Hallmarks of the Martyrdom of Hiram Abiff, Freemason Ritual. Nancy Pelosi, you did an article on, she used the term sacrifice regarding George Floyd, and there's this big controversy over the use of the word sacrifice, but she knew what she was saying. But she also did refer, earlier I did an article on that as well, she referred to the martyrdom of George Floyd. And okay, not that many people know that what that is, but as a direct reference to the Master Mason ritual of the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff. That's why she said martyr. Just because you're killed doesn't automatically make you a martyr. You have to die for a cause. But she knew what she was doing when she said that, just when she said martyrdom of George Floyd, the same way she knew what she was saying when she said sacrifice. So, the trial of Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin concluded in what, as I've been demonstrating, has been a narrative with a millennia-old esoteric underpinnings. In this case, the most salient of esoteric narratives is the vernal/spring equinox. Since the dawn of civilization, the rebirth of the sun at the spring equinox has been the primary time of the year for high ritual. This is also the season of sacrifice. This is sacrifice season. From the spring equinox to mid-spring is sacrifice season. So last week I saw a stat. At the time they said there had been 32 mass killings, and they defined mass killings as 4. Again, you've talked about 4 as the number of deaths. They define a mass killing or a mass shooting as 4 deaths or more. And they have this astronomical number. They say this month, March, there have been 32. Well, that's sacrifice season, if you understand that these ancient practices still go on today. Sacrifice season at the spring equinox. And there's a week, one more week before mid-spring. I mean, these things will continue throughout the year, but not at this concentrated level, because this is sacrifice season and there's 1 week left. So there will be more, there'll be mass shootings, but other forms of ritual during sacrifice season. That's the real reason this is happening. So every major civilization has had its version of the death and resurrection of the sun, mythos. These ancient death and resurrection of the sun rituals are still practiced today, appearing as news events. One of the most popular death and resurrection of the sun allegories comes from ancient Egypt, where the god Osiris represents the sun, is killed by his brother Set at the autumnal equinox. This is where English gets the term sunset. Osiris goes to the underworld of the winter solstice and is resurrected at the vernal equinox, or the spring equinox, in the form of Horus. That's where the English language gets the word horizon. That's Horus rising. Freemasonry co-opted the Osiris legend in the form of the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff, Master Mason allegory and ritual, which is an autumnal equinox death of the sun ritual. They have a separate ritual for the resurrection of Hiram Abiff. George Floyd had a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason tattoo on his chest. So Freemasonry's involvement in the George Floyd death narrative is undeniable. George Floyd was Osiris, the sun, and Hiram Abiff.
And Rambo, maybe we should mention that Derek Chauvin was guilty on his 33rd day of his age. 33 like Chauvin's 33, like police, like masonry, like secrecy, like order. And again, the rioting started on East 33rd Street after the videotape of the killing on May 26th last year. So 33 from beginning to the end. Okay, I'll stop.
No, that's okay. This has the hallmarks of Freemasonry all over it. And, since you brought up 33, the tattoo, I mean, most people are not symbol literate. If they were, they would, they'd ask me, is there more to this story? The tattoo that George Floyd had, which is on his chest, which is the 33rd Freemason, 33rd degree of Freemason tattoo symbol, which has a double-headed eagle, but it also has the number 33 in a triangle. So yes, 33 is, it's a very important number. This has the hallmarks of Freemason ritual all over it. George Floyd was Osiris, the sun, and Hiram Abiff. Much more of Freemasonry's traditions and teachings are taken from ancient Kemet, which is, Egyptians call themselves Kemet. It's also called Kemet and Egypt. The number 42, and there's the justice theme. There's the justice theme and the number 42. So justice is obviously a major theme. in the George Floyd narrative. Justice for George Floyd was the most popular slogan of the campaign. In ancient Kemet/Egypt, justice was anthropomorphized in the goddess Ma'at, M-A-A-T, who is the basis of the Greco-Roman Lady Justice, or Themis. The Greeks call her Themis. Lady Justice, so you'll see holding the scale while blindfolded. That actually originates from Ma'at in ancient Kemet. So a goddess Ma'at symbol is the scale of justice. And in legends, Ma'at would take, when you die, you'd go to the Duat. And in the Duat, Ma'at would put your heart on one end of the scale. On the opposite end of the scale, she would put a feather. And if the feather was not heavier than your heart, so the scale should be heavier with the feather. And if your heart was not lighter than the feather, then that would determine where you'd go next. The duat would then determine the next dimension where you go, which is a little bit more difficult if your heart was too heavy. So it's the weighing of the heart. And I like to credit one of my top commenters and helpers. They help with my decodes is C. Chev. She pointed out that they literally did weigh George Floyd's heart because he had an enlarged heart. And that evidence came out in the trial. They actually weighed his heart and gave you the weight of his heart compared to what a normal heart should be for a person of his size and age. So they literally did carry out that ancient Egyptian ritual of Ma'at, weighing of the heart, which is, it's pretty amazing. This is the levels of the ritual to this. So her symbol is the scales. But here we see one of multiple reasons George Floyd fit the role for the sacrifice. Since being born on October 14th, George Floyd is a Libra, and the symbol for the zodiac sign of Libra is the scale. So followers of your work will know that the number 42 is regularly coded into the narratives of Black people such as George Floyd. In ancient Kemet/Egypt, Ma'at was known for her 42 laws. The 42 laws of Ma'at were what she's known for. Floyd's death was an autumnal equinox ritual. His killer's trial was a vernal equinox ritual. So he's lined up with the equinoxes. These are high ritual times. And in Gematria, equinox sums to 42. What you say, the 42 laws of Ma'at.
So does Libra.
Now, also you did...
Libra is 42.
Oh yeah, that's what I knew I missed something. Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're on top of it. Yeah, because I knew I missed something. I had a feeling there's something missing. That's it. Yeah.
The Gematria Libra is super. Yeah. I don't want to get you off track, but I mean, all those numbers in Libra are very relevant to the George Floyd story. So.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's good. No, thanks. It's not off track. That's right. So yeah, equinox is 42. It was Libra occurs at the equinox. So yeah, Libra is 42. Their symbols the scales of Ma'at. Ma'at had the 42 laws. So you also talked about the number 105, just to diverge a little bit from 42. You talked about the significance of 105 in this ritual. The defense rested its case on the 105th day of the year, which is April 15th. Masonry sums to 105, as you pointed out. George sums to 105. Gemini sums to 105, and we're talking about Gemini because his death happened in Gemini, and the symbol for Gemini is twins. This is the twin cities. I think Steven Jackson, the NBA, they said it was his twin because he looked just like him, so twin symbol is heavy, so that's why they talk about Gemini 105. But equinox also sums to 105.
I'm pretty sure Steven Jackson was 42. I'm pretty sure Steven Jackson was 42 years old when he called George Floyd his twin.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's another good addition. Yeah, so see, none of this can. See, the more you add, the less you can say coincidence. I mean, then you look really silly when you say, "Oh, that's a coincidence. That's a coincidence." That's the more examples you give, the more you can indicate that all this cannot be a coincidence. So Ma'at performed the weighing of the heart of the deceased on her scale in the underworld, in the Duat, in the presence of Anubis, the dog-headed god of the underworld, who would guide souls to their next destination. Osiris eventually replaced Anubis as the god of the underworld, but Anubis is 42. Anubis is also related to Sirius, the dog star, and dog star sums to 42. I didn't add that, but yeah, the 42s are amazing. They're hard to even keep track of them. It's amazing
remember,
how much 42s and 42s.
Remember, Amy Cooper in New York on Memorial Day was the big news story because she was choking her dog on camera while calling the police on a black man who was bird watching, and that was in Central Park. And then the next day, the story came out about George Floyd, or the video came out, but supposedly he'd been killed on Memorial Day too. And we were saying those were the twin related stories. New York and Minneapolis and the 93 connection. I know Libra is 93 as well. But the just Dog and Floyd have the same gematria, so yeah. And then you might also recall there was another story that only lasted for a little bit, but it was around the time of the. There was a story out of L.A. where a woman was provoked and she threw a dog at a man. Do you remember this story?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Somehow that story fit into it. I'd have to go back and look at it, but just the whole dog thing you're bringing up, so. Okay.
Yeah, that's a reference to Sirius. Sirius, the star Sirius, was sacred to ancient Egypt. A lot of their rituals are based on ancient Egyptian rituals and teachings. Mm-hmm. And that is a sacred star. The new year in ancient Egypt started at the heliacal rising of Sirius, when Sirius reappeared on the eastern horizon after being invisible for 70 days. And that coincided with the flooding of the Nile. And that was the beginning of the ancient Egyptian New Year. So Sirius was very sacred to them, and Sirius was associated with Isis, is also associated with Anubis. So that's why there is a Sirius, and Sirius is also sacred to Freemasons, since they get so much of, their teachings from ancient Egypt. Sirius is very sacred to them. You see the blazing star with the one eye with the blazing star behind it, that's Sirius. So yeah, a lot, and Sirius is called the dog star. It's in the constellation Canis Major, Canis like canine. That is why you see so much of this. You'll also notice that in a lot of these stories, it's a white female and a black male. It's amazing how often. It's pretty consistent. It's a white female and a black male. We even just had the shooting of a black male by a white female police officer. Part of the reason you see the white is constantly a female who's either calling the police and this whole spate of frivolous complaints against black people who are just going about their lives. In the majority of the overwhelming, almost all of them, with a few exceptions, it's a white female and against a black person. And that's because of the number 42, because 42 is a number for females as well. Females 42, feminine 42, ladies 42, daughters 42. So 42 is also a number for women as well. So that's why you'll see that trend. Yeah, 42 is an amazing, big number here. So in Freemason's adaptation of the Osiris legend, the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff, they genuflect, which is erroneously referred to as kneeling, but it's genuflecting. Kneeling technically is on two knees. Genuflecting is on one knee. So the brothers, they will flank a blindfolded representative of the body of Hiram Abiff, who's Osiris, lying on the floor. And this is the root of the kneeling protests, which started with Colin Kaepernick and the NFL. So after dying, Hiram Abiff also becomes the resurrected son in a later ritual, which is Horus. Horus is the son of Isis, who is widowed after Osiris is killed. Hence, Freemasons give Hiram Abiff the moniker the widow's son. The widow's son refers to Horus, and the son of Isis, who's the widow, because Osiris died. Widow's son sums to 42. Yeah, but 42 is a huge number for Freemasons. It's huge. It's not just, okay, 42 means other things. It is according to black people. It's quoted for women. It's huge as women, but also huge as Freemasons in general. So a lot of that is coming together here in these rituals. So just to give the official definition of the term genuflect is, quote, to bend the knee or touch one knee to the ground or floor as in worship. So that's the official definition of genuflect. That's what people are doing. They're genuflecting. So genuflect sums to 42. Also, when the kneeling started with the NFL and Kaepernick, it was promoted in social media with hashtag take the knee. Take the knee sums to 42. Bended knee sums to 42. Also, bended knee, scale of Ma'at, and George Perry Floyd have multiple overlaps in other values. They all come to 201. So anyone who followed your work knows it's a business of 201. Bended knee, 201. Scale of Ma'at, 201. George Perry Floyd, 201. But they also all sum to either 69 or 96. So
and with
those three terms.
96 has the quick mathematical connection to 42. The divisors of 42 sum to 96. Words like knowledge and Freemason equal 42 and 96.
Yeah, okay. We're seeing how significant the number 42, how deep it is, and how significant. I mean, we talk about how, when you think of the most important number to Freemason, you think of 33. Well, we're seeing how 42, I mean, 42 is up there. 42 is, if you say a number in second place to 33, I'd say it's 42.
Sure.
Interesting that they both sum to 6. Yeah, so maybe, they both sum to 6 is interesting. I don't know if, maybe 6 is the key number there. I don't know. But 42 and other enactments of the Osiris legend. So in the Osiris legend,
Rambo, just in case you don't know this,
in
case you don't know this with the whole Freemason and 42 and 33 connection, again, people, Freemason equals 42 in the most pure cipher, Masonry's 33, like secrecy, like order. And again, the fixation on 33's Kundalini in the spiritual ascension up to 33 bones of the human vertebrae. The word people and person is 33 in the most pure cipher, just like Masonry, secrecy, order. And vertebrae is 42 in the most pure cipher. I point that stuff out in my first book, but to me, I think that has a lot to do with the 42 and 33 and the significance of the numbers and how they relate to the person. And like you said, they both break down to 6, and in the Bible, man's made on the 6th day. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great contribution. So, we're seeing the heart of the ritual. When you get to the heart of rituals, it's easier to identify the rituals. You can pretty much connect dots once you know what's at the heart of the ritual. I'm sure there's a deeper layer I'd like to get to, but I think this is, this is deeper than you're going to get anywhere else, I think, to be honest.
Truly.
But in the Osiris legend, his body is cut into 14 pieces and scattered around Egypt. That's Set who does it. That's Set who cuts his body into 14 pieces. Isis can only retrieve and assemble 13 pieces after a catfish or crocodile consumes Osiris's penis in the river Nile. She fashions a phallus of either wood or gold with which she's able to conceive Horus. The phallus of Osiris is the obelisk. So significant to the Osiris rituals is the color green, since Osiris is green in color. So I'd like to give credit again to a very great contributor, consistently great contributor, Anthony C. Davison, for this following observation. He pointed out that on July 31st of 2016, an Osiris ritual took place when National Basketball Association star Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors, and the emphasis here is on the name Green, accidentally, quote unquote, exposed his genitalia on Snapchat. This was a 4-year, 242-day span between the date of the Ever Given / Evergreen container vessel being refloated in the Suez Canal, which was March 29th, 2001. So from the day that Draymond Green, quote unquote, accidentally, sent out this image of his privates on Snapchat was July 31st, 2016 to March 29th, 2021. And also remember that the ship, last week I did my, in my decode, I showed, this is from mainstream vesselfinder.com, so this is official. They show you the route that the Ever Given ship, and this is a huge container ship, supposedly undergoing a very important part of keeping the world's economy going. Yeah, well, it had time in the Red Sea to chart a course in the shape of a penis and testicles. Yeah, so this is official. So this is what we're dealing with here. So they made it obvious. And yeah, so from in between Draymond Green putting that picture out and the Evergreen ship being refloated is 4 years, 242 days. That's 4242. That's a double 42. And that's entirely, that part of Decode is entirely Anthony C. Davison's great contribution there. Now, Draymond Green's birthday of 4th March can be written 4-3, like 43, like George Floyd sums to 43 in Gematria. So yeah, there's a connection there. It's a little obvious. Also the 42 and the stereotyping of black males. It's obvious what's going on there. Also, where the mythology comes from, ancient Egypt. That's from Africa. So there's that whole theme going on. Another great commenter was David G. Olson. He pointed out that 43 is the 14th prime number, and in the legend, Osiris's corpse is cut into 14 pieces. So that's why 43 is significant. And he also goes on to mention, full credit to him, David G. Olson. He had really phenomenal decode. This is only part of the decode. He also observed that the 4th letter of the alphabet is D. The 3rd letter of the alphabet is C. So 43 is an occulted DC. DC are the initials of Derek Chauvin. Olson also pointed out that the name Derek sums to 43 in Gematria. And then he also considered the duration of the killing of George Floyd was officially changed from 9 minutes and 29 seconds, from 8 minutes 46. They added 43 seconds.
Oh, Rambo, pause real quick because the music's not up. We'll be right back, everybody.
Censorship and regulation is becoming an ever-growing problem in today's modern media. From the mainstream to YouTube and Google, the information you're looking for is buried by official narratives and propaganda. This is why TFR is 100% uncensored, unregulated, and listener-supported. The shows on TFR are not micromanaged by the station, and our hosts are free to speak their minds however they please. As such, the views and opinions expressed on our station are of those who make them. If you happen to hear anything offensive on TFR, please send us an email to toughtitty@tfrlive.com, and we'll be happy to tell you that we really don't give a damn. We stand for freedom of speech and non-censorship. If you also stand for free speech, you can go to tfrlive.com/signup and sign up for a TFR supporter pass and help us in our mission to keep the airwaves uncensored and unregulated. TFR Live, your uncensored and unregulated protection from deception.
A milestone in the fight against COVID-19. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden says 200 million people have now been vaccinated against COVID-19, though he warns people still need to take precautions.
If we let up now and stop being vigilant, this virus will erase the progress we've already achieved. The sacrifices we made, the lives that have been put on hold, the loved ones who've been taken from us. Time we're never going to get back.
The president is also calling on employers to allow paid time off so workers can get vaccinated and is offering small and medium-sized businesses tax breaks in exchange. Another pause concerning the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, this time at a plant that makes the shots.
The FDA issued a report that says the emergent manufacturing plant in Baltimore, Maryland, has several issues. The report commented on the lack of cleanliness in some areas, noting peeling paint on walls close to vaccine production, and said workers sometimes moved manufacturing waste through the warehouse, and said that could cause contamination. The FDA ordered a pause on vaccine manufacturing at this plant and said the vaccines already made will undergo additional testing before they're distributed. This is the same plant, by the way, that previously ruined 15 million doses due to worker confusion over vaccine ingredients. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
One day after the conviction of Derek Chauvin and the death of George Floyd, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says lawmakers must take up the issue of police reform.
We should not mistake a guilty verdict in this case as evidence that the persistent problem of police misconduct has been solved.
But Republicans have concerns with a provision to change qualified immunity protections in the current bill. Israel's military says it struck targets in Syria in retaliation for a missile strike from that country. No casualties or damage reported in Israel. America is listening to Fox News.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
We are TFR. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal. More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. Rambo got interrupted by the break, so we're going right back to him right now. And are you still there, friend?
Right, so we're talking about the number 43.
Correct.
The fourth letter is D, the third letter is C. So 43 is DC, which is Derek Chauvin's initials. Again, that is not my observation. That is from the contributor, David G. Olson. He came up with this. He also mentioned that.
I was just going to say, for the record, DC 43, it makes a lot of sense for his position, too, because policeman is 43, George Floyd 43, Civil War 43. All the Civil War monuments came down after George Floyd, and then the plus 43 seconds to the knee on the neck count from 846 to 929.
Yep. Yeah. So what I would add to that is that DC is the United States Capitol, where you see the world's biggest obelisk. So there we are, back on the obelisk symbol.
And Masonic.
The Washington Monument. We all know.
Masonic is 43.
What's that?
Masonic equals 43, the 43 city.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Masonic is 43. It's, George Washington's a Freemason. There's even a, if you go inside the Washington Monument, above the elevator, you see the sun disk with wings symbol with the two cobras either side of the sun disk. So there's no doubt what this is from. This is all Freemasonry. So the sentencing of Derek Chauvin and the hallmarks of the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff ritual. In the Freemason allegory of the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff, 3 second-degree Freemasons attempt to forcibly extract the secret word of the Master Mason, also known as the secret name of God, from Master Mason Hiram Abiff. This is in Solomon's Temple. The 3 fellow craft, as second-degree Freemasons are called, the second-degree Freemasonry is called fellow craft. Well, the 3 fellow craft, second-degree Freemasons, who are trying to extract the secret word of the Master Mason from Hiram Abiff, are collectively, they're called the 3 ruffians. Derek Chauvin was found guilty on 3 counts of unintentional second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. The term second-degree has double entendre in this case, and it is a direct reference to the second-degree Freemasons, particularly the one second-degree Freemason named Jubilum. There were 3 of them. 2 of them attempted to kill Hiram Abiff. They failed. The 3rd one killed Hiram Abiff at the west gate of Solomon's Temple, because the sun sets in the west. And his name was Jubilum. A second-degree Freemason named Jubilum is the one who killed Hiram Abiff. So clearly, the reference to second-degree that Chauvin was found guilty of, second-degree murder, second-degree manslaughter, is a reference to Jubilum and the 3 ruffians who killed Derek Chauvin. Who killed Hiram Abiff. Derek Chauvin clearly is a second-degree, in this ritual, he represents Jubilum, the second-degree Freemason who killed Hiram Abiff at Solomon's Temple. And who is Hiram Abiff? George Floyd is Hiram Abiff. And when they say the 3 counts that he was convicted on, 3 counts is reference to the 3 ruffians. Then there's Set, who, major part of this ritual. Set is the brother of Osiris who kills him. Well, 2 other examples of rituals with Set involved, Osiris rituals. The first white NFL player given credit for kneeling / genuflecting at the national anthem was Cleveland Browns Seth DeValve. So his name was Seth. So again, we know what that kneeling was about. We know why they picked Seth DeValve because of his name. Also, his full name is Seth DeValve, so I'm so 42. So I didn't put that here, but I've done a decode on that before. Another person famous for exposing his genitalia to the public is New York Congressman Anthony Weiner, who had multiple sexting scandals. His name Weiner is not a coincidence, but confirmation that this was an Osiris ritual is that Anthony Weiner's brother, his name is Seth. Again, that's Osiris' brother's name. And also Anthony Weiner's tenure in office as a congressman ended on June 21st. That's the summer solstice. And again, Osiris is the sun. So again, that June 21st, that nails it. There have been other rituals I didn't include it here that happened around the summer solstice, like the John Wayne Bobbitt. That incident happened June 21st. So they're using the summer solstice. In the end, I left an image here of a COVID-19 testing, a mobile testing facility. And for this, you just have to see the image. You have to see the visual on this. And look at the logo. They say it's an aardvark, but it looks like Set. If you know what Set looks like, I don't think it's coincidence that this COVID-19, it's a testing company, mobile testing company, they use an image that looks like Set. They say it's an aardvark, but it has a pointed ears and the snout.
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. And coronavirus is supposedly named that because under the microscope it looks similar to the outer surface of the sun, they say. So that would go in with the whole Horus and Set thing.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That's another good addition. Also, I didn't include this, but in Minneapolis, there's a building that is designed after the Washington Monument. The building is made to look like an obelisk. I can add that later to this. It's called the Fauché Tower, Fauché SHAY, the Fauché Tower in downtown Minneapolis, which is designed, they even say it is designed so it's an actual obelisk. And I looked at the gematria on Fauché Tower, and it has the coronavirus numbers, 142, 155, and 56.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what I would, I'll leave it at that.
All right, Rambo. Brilliant work as always. I appreciate it.
Thanks. I appreciate you as well.
All right, friend. You have a good rest of your night.
All right.
All right. Take care.
All right. You too.
Okay, and a reminder, all of Rambo's posts can be found on GematriaEffect.news. And there's categories. Some of them get used a lot more than others. But if you go to Rambo's Corner, all of his posts are here. And I realize hold on. I need to bring Rambo back on the line. There's something I told the chat I would do. Rambo, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, the chat was asking something. They were wondering if there's any way they can contact you by email. Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, I chat with people on Free to Find Truth platform all the time, like a direct chat.
There, just use that. Yeah, everybody, just go on Free to Find Truth, find Rambo on there, and send him a message rather than have him give out his email. Yeah, that's a good answer. So, Free to Find Truth.
Yeah. There are a lot of people. I just talked with Benjamin just yesterday. I was talking with Benjamin and a couple others. You know, there's several people. I respond to everybody who contacts me.
Okay. And then everybody else is
Rambo. It's at Rambo.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, Rambo's on there, you guys. So go to freetofindtruth.com, find Rambo, send him a message, say hello, and he will respond. All right, that's perfect, friend.
It's just at Rambo. Yep. Yes, at Rambo. They have to send a connect request to at Rambo. Yeah.
Yep, perfect. All right, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah. And a lot of people will ask, does he have a YouTube channel? Not yet, but I imagine one day he will start one. And with that said, let's go out to the next callers in line. We got hold on, before we go, let me tell you how many people are on hold here. There's probably about 25 people on hold right now. Again, if you guys can keep your call to, let's say, 2 minutes max, we'll get through everyone on the line. And let's start out in Pennsylvania. What's up, Pennsylvania?
Hi, Zach. Can you hear me all right?
I can. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I want to talk about a YouTube documentary that I watched called The Beirut Blast, The Explosion That Stole a Nation's Hope.
Okay.
I highly recommend it. And I'd like to begin with a quote from, at the very beginning of that documentary, they're interviewing a Lebanese woman. And she says, "The whole political reigning elite allowed this to happen, whether it is by pure negligence or if it was evil. Both cases, they are completely guilty." I thought that was pretty impressive that, you know, we know that, you and I, with the information and the resources that we have. But after watching this documentary, those people over there have absolutely nothing, and they know the truth. So that was pretty moving.
Indeed. And one more time, what's the name of the film?
It's called Beirut Blast, The Explosion That Stole a Nation's Hope.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
It's about 45 minutes in length, and it's about, obviously, the Beirut explosion that occurred last year on August 4th. What I'd like to share with you tonight is some more Jesuit fingerprints that I learned through this documentary. What I want to focus on is the ship itself. The ship, it was completed in Japan on October of 1986. Wikipedia doesn't give an exact date, but October is your 33 month. And what does Japan and 86 have in common?
Hiroshima?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The bombing of Hiroshima. That's the first thing I thought of whenever I watched. You actually see firsthand accounts of the explosion in Beirut from people with their cell phones. It's pretty wild. But, the ship was 21 years old in August of 2008. And that's when a Panama-based registered Briarwood Corporation purchased the ship. They lengthened the hull from 53 meters to 86 meters, and they named the ship Rhosus, R-H-O-S-U-S. That name stood out to me. I took 2 years of Latin in college, in Catholic seminary, and it sounded Latin to me. I tried to research it, and the only thing I could find on Rhosus was that in the early years of the church, we're talking like shortly after Christ died, there was a diocese named Rhosus in the Roman Catholic Church. And that was located in what would considered, I guess, to be modern day Turkey right now. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Rhosus equals 35 in reverse full reduction. MV Rhosus equals 135 in English ordinal. And motor vessel Rhosus, which is what MV stands for, that's the official title of the boat, equals 263 English ordinal, which is the 56th prime, and 74 in full reduction. One of the most interesting things I learned, and this was just researching the ship itself, it was chartered to carry the high-density ammonium nitrate to Mozambique in September of 2013. After it was loaded with this cargo, it set sail on September 27th, which is the anniversary of the founding of the Jesuit order, correct?
It's the day they are recognized by Rome. Yeah, September 27th.
Right. So that's when the boat set sail with this ammonium nitrate on board.
Perfect.
November 21st, 2013, the ship ported in Beirut. No one really knows why. There's only speculation as to why. But once they did, the Port State Patrol found the ship unseaworthy and forbid it to set sail. They court-ordered it to store the ammonium nitrate ashore in Hangar 12 until it exploded in 2020. The boat sank between February 16th and February 18th of 2018. And 2 years later, the blast happened, which means the blast occurred 33 years after the ship was built.
Amazing. Yeah. Well,
and I think that was about all I had.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
For you.
And again, for people who forgot about the Beirut blast on August 4th, 2020, Obama's birthday. Again, the last part of my book, the outros, that blast. I didn't have the thing about the ship though. That's good additional information. But yeah, the Jesuits got their hands all over what happened on August 4th, 2020 in Beirut. So I will watch that myself. I appreciate the heads up. Thank you.
You can just tell. I mean, just watching it without knowing any of this, it ported in 2013 and the blast occurred in 2020. And they talked throughout the documentary how repeatedly they told people in positions of political power and authority, warning them of the imminent dangers that this could pose to their city. And all of it was completely just ignored, and you can just tell that it was all deliberate.
Yeah.
For possibly decades,
Indeed.
So, yeah.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks a lot for the call.
Yeah, you have a good night.
Yeah,
Thank
have
you.
a good evening.
All right, we're in a little over 2 minutes there, but let's go out to the Twin Cities. 612.
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Good. Love from the 93rd West, 44th North, man.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Buddy, Adam Lanza, 112 pounds, guns blazing, 26 people, precision accuracy. Okay?
Right.
You're crazy if you think of this. You're crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm so sick of people calling you and telling you what you need to do and what you need to research and why you don't have this accurate or why you don't have that accurate. I'm sorry, Zachary Hubbard is one person. Go get your own website. Go get your own podcast. Go start your own YouTube channel. Write your own book. Go stand on your own corner. Like, what's the problem? Do they not know how difficult it is? Do they not understand what we're dealing with? You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people.
I was getting a lift.
I was gonna say. I think a lot of people don't understand because I get so many requests to do things a day. It's like, don't you guys see that I keep myself busy all day and I'm already like working on everything? It's like, why am I supposed to get this extra time to do these projects? Right? So.
But I can't swear on TFR because thank God, I love TFR. I wrote to them thanking them for keeping you on. I mean, geez, they're probably the only ones who put you on, really.
Sure,
I've been around this stuff since I was a teenager, and every time I call in and talk to you, dude, it's about the same stupid crap. It's the same, excuse my language, retarded backwards mentality that we deal with every day. Oh, my daughter's in the Navy. She would never do that. Oh, my government would never do that. Well, why would they do that? I don't understand. Wow, I've never heard that before. Wow, that's so interesting. I mean, what is it going to take? It's going to be until we're all in prison right. Or we're all in the grave until somebody's like, oh, well, yeah, well, maybe it really was true.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that. They do. They do it every day. These people can't even table the conversations, Zach. They don't even want to table any conversations at all.
Right.
Because if I don't care, I want to go to my Timberwolves game.
Right.
I don't care as long as I get to go and play ball.
Yeah.
I get to go to the movie theater. Okay? I don't care. Literally. That's the mentality.
There's
that's all I got for you, Zach.
Well, the word care came out there, and that's exactly what it is. People do not care for the truth or to
They don't care.
Yeah.
It's the cremation of care. They don't care. They want to go to their Timberwolves game. They want to go to their Vikings game, their Packers game. They don't care. Zach, I'm telling you, there are people I know personally that know your work, that know other people's work, that have actually done a little bit of research. I was pretty impressed myself. They still go out and get things like vaccination.
Right.
Just because, well, I want to make sure I want to go to the game I want to go to the Twins game. So they tell me. I had a Lyft driver, like Uber and Lyft. I had a Lyft driver a couple weekends ago tell me that he's not going to allow his son to come over for Sunday dinner until he gets vaccinated. That's how retarded it has become.
Yeah.
The same people who believe the story that they had to torture a man 27 times to get a confession for 9/11. The same stupid backwards mentality.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. That's why.
But you're the bad guy. But you're the bad guy, Zach, because you don't do enough research.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well,
That's all I got for you, man.
I really appreciate it. Stay strong out there. We both know how it is, and a lot of people listening do too.
All right.
Keep it up, friend. You take care.
Take care.
But yeah, again, care is the word. People do not care about the truth, and there's going to be big consequences for that. It'll be another C word, consequences for not caring. It's like, the foundation of our life is being torn apart by termites or tyrants, and eventually the foundation will just fall completely out beneath our feet, and that's when people are going to wake up, when it's too late, sadly. So let's go out to Bronson, Florida, 352. 352? Been on hold for a long time. Sorry about the long hold, Bronson. Appreciate you listening tonight. Let's go out to Michigan. Michigan, you're on.
Hey, brother.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
You know,
That was
another
a
day.
pretty intense 201 decode. Love it. Just all I got to say is national-assembly.net. Everybody's got to go to that website, click on the welcome tab, watch the Red Beckman videos, look at the 10 steps to forming an assembly, and look at the handbook. We got this figured out. This is constitutional. It may not be perfect, but it's all we got, people. And this is the only way we can take this insanity back and put it in our own hands. We're the only ones that can stop this, because they're working under, whatever they're working under, this cabal. But we can stop this, but we can't do it alone. We have to work together as we the people, right? This was, it may not have been ideal the way it was set up, but that's all we got. And I don't think we should veer off too far from, that Constitution. Make it work for us. All right? That's all I got. Thanks, Zach. Love you, brother.
All right, man. You have a good night. Appreciate you.
You too.
All right, take care. All right, let's go out to Illinois. Illinois, you're on.
Yo, what's up, TFR? What's going on?
Yeah, I hear you, but it sounds like you're far from the phone.
All right, I'm coming. Back in Carbondale, man. I'm at work. I got to run again.
Oh, okay. I remember how this happened. All right, well, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah. I'm coming. Okay. So if you look from Kobe's birthday to Magic's birthday, or the day Kobe died to Magic's birthday.
Magic Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting it up. Magic Johnson birthday. August 14th.
It's 8/14. Yeah, that's for Jesuit.
Well, what's the thing?
The day Kobe died to that day?
Yeah.
It's 201 days.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there it is.
From event 201 to Magic Johnson's birthday is 666 days.
And that reminds me, how they connected Magic with HIV, because that was discovered in 68, the same year coronavirus was coined, 68. Yeah, that's another 201 right there.
And then from 9/11 to Game 7 is 314 days, like pi.
Oh, hold on! It's commercial break. The commercial just snuck up on us.
Okay.
We'll be right back, everybody. Sit tight.
Yeah. On the big show.
Turn to nature to help attain balance within ourselves. But somewhere, we lost our way. Western culture is once again remembering the healing benefits of CBD, the non-psychoactive component of the hemp plant. That's why more and more people who use CBD report relief from inflammation and chronic pain, balanced blood sugar and cardiovascular system, relief from muscle tensions, tremors, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. The big question is, where do you get it? Life is a 99% pure CBD oil made with all organic ingredients, and it's available to TFR listeners worldwide. If you use coupon code TFR at checkout, you'll get $5 towards your order. Head on over to ialife.com now. That's AYA life.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the Live Scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate Lime Scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
For millennia, mankind has been searching for answers to the big questions, such as, where did the universe come from? Where did we come from? Why are we here? Are we alone? And just what the heck is the Sasquatch all about? I can't promise you answers, and neither can the Woo Crew, but they invite you to join them Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight in the UK, for Freaky Friday, exclusively on Truth Frequency Radio. Spirituality, multiverse, quantum mechanics, the occult, and so much conspiracy analysis that it will make your mind melt. Take my word for it. Freaky Friday. It's more than a show. It's a way of life. I am Stephen Hawking, and I am proud to be a Wookiee.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. We got cut off by the commercial break. Also, just if you're out there, if you're friends with Jeff Young, if you follow his work, the very talented musician in the community, send him some well wishes. His dog died yesterday. He lost his dog. He's down today. And again, that's why I don't have pets, man. It's sad. It's like losing anybody else when your pets die, man. So Jeff Young lost his dog yesterday. And if you guys are in touch with Jeff Young, just send him a nice message. Help cheer him up. And let's get back out to Illinois. What's going on in Illinois? Sorry about the break.
All right, I should have my poop of the group, man. I'm the one that's been saying it's all about pie, man.
Yeah.
ABC, the sickening, it's so sick because they're the ones that said how the world changed with a $20 bill and a 911 call. And as soon as I seen that, I was like, yeah, that's why they put George Floyd's trial date on 9/11, the pre-trial. But anyway, from that day to Game 7 of the finals is 314 days, like pie.
Pie, yeah. Always big pie rituals.
And then from December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day to 22/7, Game 7 is 227 days.
Huh. Yeah, the other number. 22 divided by 7 pi. Okay, interesting.
Right. The other day, Helen Elizabeth McCrory that died from the Harry Potter.
Right.
You know about like Kobe's Wizardard series and whatever?
Right.
The Wizardard equals 164. Harry Potter equals 164. In that book, you were talking about prophecy. Prophecy in that book, it's about Harry Potter is the chosen one who can go kill Voldemort. LeBron James got the chosen one. But it's not it's just chosen one. Chosen one equals 98. That was 98 days till Game 7.
Huh. Yeah.
Anyway, her name equals 227.
Huh. Profit is also 98. So is National Basketball Association. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. And it also equals, her name equals 106 and 110, like the Justice for George Floyd. She died on the 106th day of the year.
Yeah.
And then the same day we had that Nelson Haggerty. The North Texas Mean Green equals 106.
Okay.
The team he coached.
Okay.
The Baylor Bears equals 227. I called a couple weeks ago and told you Jalen had scored 22 and 7 assists in that championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Their last loss was on 2/27, and from that day was to Elgin Baylor's birthday was 201 days.
Yeah.
But from the day Kobe died to that day is 7 months, 21 days, like 127 in reverse.
Amazing. Yeah, really good research.
Day, from that.
Go ahead.
From that same day to LeBron's birthday, 9/16 is 258 days.
Okay, number of the beast.
Yeah, it was crazy. And the thing is, they linked up. You know how Minneapolis and Minnesota, or Lakers was from Minneapolis. They played the Brooklyn Nets. They combined for 227 points.
Yeah.
The day before that shooting.
Yeah.
And then the Lakers scored 126 on that day. And then the shooting happened the next day or whatever. But they had played, it was crazy because Rainbow was talking about June 21st, the summer solstice. That's Frank Vogel's birthday. They got to a 21-6 record, which I knew they were going to hit 21-6 this year. They hit it on Abraham Lincoln's birthday, who died at 7/22.
Right, yep.
At 56. But they scored 112 to 104 that day. Brooklyn, 112-104. Combined for 216 points on 216.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, great.
And then the Matsuyama dude, we seen the 127 days after the Japanese Prime Minister. And then Naruhito's birthday was the day the Tiger crashed at 7/12. And he had won his last Masters 10/27/2017, like 7-1-2 in reverse.
Amazing. Yeah, perfect. It's amazing how they do it.
Kim Potter, the chick that shot him, was 127, right?
Okay.
And then we have Slick Leonard. He died on the day of Kobe's last game anniversary. Slick Leonard, he coached the Pacers. The Clippers got that 38 win over the Pacers that day. I knew they were going to get it, but his name equals exactly what this girl, Mikhail Bryant or whatever, equals exactly what her name equals.
Huh. Okay. Amazing.
Exact.
Yeah.
And Hideki had got his 187th win on that day on the Masters. That was his 187th event, not his 187th win.
Tournament.
But his 187th event from the day LeBron signed to Game 7 is 1,117 days.
Square root. Or 11 times, what is that? The 187th prime, that's what it is.
11 times.
Yeah.
11, right. 11 times 17
is 187 as well. And then 1117 is the 187th prime number.
Yeah, and then the Lakers have played the Hornets on Kobe's last game anniversary. That was Frank Vogel's 126th game. On Kobe's last, anniversary. Like, what are the odds? 86 win, 86 days before the start of the NBA Finals.
And the finals were coined in 86.
And his 127th game, that number I keep talking about, he was 86-41. I was trying to warn you guys last week because I was trying to tell people they're going to lose to the Celtics. I know it. Because they was going to hit that 86-41 in tribute to Kobe and Elgin Baylor.
Good work. Yeah, that's great work.
Leonard equals 75, and it's the 75th NBA season. Charlotte Hornets is another 201, 75.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
They were sold to Tom Benson on the same day in history of Kobe's last game.
Huh.
Tom Benson equals 126. Like New Orleans equals 126.
Right.
What is December 14th significant? Because that's the day that he changed the name.
Well, that's the day in history that George Washington died. If you write out December 14th.
Yes, it is. I seen that the other day. That's it is. Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you write out December 14th as words, if you spell it out, and if you write out 1214 as words, they both equal 187, like George Washington, like Society of Jesus.
Oh my good night. It's the same like 10 numbers I keep seeing, and then you Scottish Rite of Freemasonry 127, Bavarian Illuminati 127. What we whenever what's his name had died, I told you I kept seeing 221. The Bavarian Illuminati 221. And, you know, Bavarian Illuminati is 127, and this is 2021.
Right.
And they keep doing these 127 popping up everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. The Nets scored 127 on Kobe's the anniversary of his last game. They combined for 224 points. 224 Kobe's whatever day. And then the Nets were going to play the 76ers the next day. Just like the Lakers played the 76ers the day after the anniversary of his death this year. On 127.
I see.
But the Philly and Brooklyn on that next game, they both came in with a 37-17 record. What does that look like in terms of primes?
Tell me.
37-17.
37-17.
37 to 12 primes, 17 to 7 primes.
I see what you're saying.
Both had the same record.
Got it.
Both had the same record.
Amazing. Yeah.
And that day, you know, that day is 3/14 or 413, 4/13, and that's pi in reverse.
Okay. You got all these notes with you at work
crazy,
right now?
Man, I told you.
You got all these notes at your work right now?
Yeah, man. They come by, put your mask on. They come by, do this. Dude, I ain't wearing a mask. I'm the only guy in the plant with no mask on. I'm like, we're grown. I see you grown, burly men walking around with masks on like clowns. Don't even make no sense.
Yeah.
I got more, man. I'm trying to put it on Free to Find Truth. I just, on 127, when the Lakers played the 76ers, they combined for 213. The NBA Finals is 213. But yeah, dude, I'm riding the Final Six, man. These people are sick. Every single day they're killing somebody for these folks.
Yeah. Indeed.
The work is priceless. There's nothing like it. I appreciate Van, Chagozi, Bryson, everybody out there, Rambo especially. Rambo dropped dimes on me right before I called. I appreciate you for sure, everybody in the community, man.
Well, keep up the good work. Great research.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have a good night, friend. You take care. He's putting his job on hold for a second. He's not following the mask rules, and he's dropping all the gematria knowledge. Impressive. Somebody has this post up on Free to Find Truth right now showing how O.J. Simpson is weighing in. And you know what's interesting? How somebody measured from the date of the verdict to O.J. Simpson's birthday, and they show it's 188 days. If you measure from George Floyd's birthday, October 14th, to the verdict, it's also 188 days. I didn't even talk about that, but there it is right there with the O.J. Simpson headline, too. So that is interesting. Again, O.J. Simpson, trial of the century. Another trial story. Very focused on race. All right, let's keep it moving with the calls. But yeah, that 188, that's that Bavarian Illuminati number. Let's go out to Florida. Florida, you're on. Florida, just listening. Let's go out to Richmond, California, 510.
Hey, what's up, Zach? I just wanted to bring up something that's off topic, but I just wanted to remind people just in case they wasn't aware of the Coronado Air Force Base down in San Diego that's in the shape of a swastika.
Okay.
Though they still haven't explained the reason for why that's in the shape of a swastika. Just dating back, I was listening to a guy named Simon Dan's YouTube channel. He actually mentioned gematria. He's a guy who debunks conspiracy theories, and he mentioned someone brought up the fact that his name equals 33 in gematria, which it does, and it actually has 3 letters for each 3 names: Simon Dan. So he thought, well, what a big deal. He has a huge following, so if someone were to bring it up again, he might talk about Gematria on his channel. But yeah, he just brought up the whole moon thing, and I thought about the whole NASA Operation Mockingbird, and then the fact that they have that Air Force base in San Diego that's still standing. That's literally in the shape of a swastika.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Okay.
Yep. But that's all I have.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You have a good night.
All right. You too.
Okay, let's go out to Texas. Texas, you're on 512.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
You can hear me pretty good?
I hear you clearly, yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, just want to talk about a couple things shortly. Rambo's pretty awesome with his decodes there. And I remembered, researching some pagan stuff. They do a lot of rituals on the cross-quarter days, which is halfway points between the solstice and the equinoxes. And Halloween is just kind of right there a little bit before that. But, yeah, and I've been trying to get my friend Nick, he's basically like a mathematician. He teaches math, but like you said, some people just don't want to acknowledge it, and just kind of go with the flow of the spell,
Right. Yeah. Very common.
And another thing too is with the sports decodes, I'm still trying to learn that, and I missed out on the last golf, the RBC Heritage, but I went to look at the winner and see what I missed, and sure enough, he won on the 108th day of the year, and he had 108 in the Jewish ordinal, and I wish I saw that. I would have placed a bet on him, you know what I mean? But hey, you live and learn, right?
Interesting. Yeah,
And,
I've never used
thing-
that cipher for sports before, so that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, well, there's another one, Sink won it, yeah, and there was Fitzpatrick.
Well, the
he had
Stewart Sink,
257.
again, we kind of put that one up for free with Stewart Sink because the tournament began on the day the Titanic sunk. So Stewart Sink was in second place, and we're like, and Cameron was up at the top, and James Cameron made the film Titanic, so it seemed like they were doing a tribute to the Titanic, and sure enough, Sink won.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to point out, too, is on the Gematrinator, on the tools there, because I wasn't aware of it at first, but they have a date calculator on there, and it seems to be pretty good because it has all the date numerology on it as well, all the different variants. So I've been starting to use that, and then also too you click on the number on the calculator, and it pulls you to that little sub window, and it gives you all the info on that specific number, and it's pretty cool. So if anyone wants to know if that number is a prime, just type it in there, and then boom, there you go.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I know you mentioned before too that you were going to do a sports decode tutorial or something at some point. I mean, I know you're pretty busy and whatnot, but whenever you get to that, I'd be pretty interested in learning.
I will do that again for people who missed out on the last time I did a lesson like that. So we'll definitely do that again soon.
And another thing too, I remember in one of your episodes or shows you were talking about like the X, like said Malcolm X and whatnot, and all the people who have the X in their name. Well, I remember doing some research like on Jesus, whatnot, and the actual cross. And the Romans were actually, when they crucified someone, it was on an X because it was a lot easier to put the X on the ground instead of standing up a cross.
Sure.
I mean, they're crucifying you, and they're trying to make it quick. So, maybe that's type of the significance in them having the X in their name, because eventually they're going to be crucified, per se.
Sure,
but
that makes sense.
Other than that, I mean, that's about it. And let the other callers put some info in.
All right. Keep up the good work, friend. Appreciate the call. You have a good night.
All right.
All right, take care. All right. And how you doing this evening, friend?
So what's up, Zach?
How you doing?
Okay.
That's good. Appreciate you calling.
I hear from Rambo last night.
Oh, good. You guys finally linked up.
Yeah. And funny it is, he got a sister living close to me.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, in Brooklyn here.
Okay.
So him say him come down every now and then. So when he come down, we'll link up.
Perfect. Perfect. That's good.
Yeah. The lady was talking to you about that. Which website you say you go and find the information about the corona? Which website is that?
Oh, the woman who called in earlier?
Yeah.
Well, she was saying, you know, follow the work of Andrew Kaufman and all the sources and resources he's putting out. She really likes the work of Andrew Kaufman.
Because she was saying some information is there, but there's no so well, the coronavirus is a hoax.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tests and resources. I know that's the body of work she's talking about.
Oh. What's his name?
Andrew Kaufman.
Kaufman. Yeah, I know his name. Andrew Kaufman. I know who he is.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll list a couple of his podcasts there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, some that everything is good, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I keep listening, you know?
Well, I appreciate it, friend. I'm glad you and Rambo linked up.
Yeah.
You have a good rest of your night. Thank you for always supporting.
You too.
All right. Yeah, take care, man. All right. Thank you. Okay, I'm noticing I have a ton of calls from Bronson, Florida, and let's try this one. Bronson, are you there? It's like, how can there be so many calls from this one city? Something going on in Bronson, Florida. Let's go out to New York. What's going on, New York?
How you doing, Zach?
Hey, doing well. How are you?
Good. I just wanted real quick to see if Rambo's listening. Is there any way to use the way he decodes with his astrology to maybe decode a sports game using his astrology, and like maybe he could suggest how we would go about doing it, and if it's, you know, if that would help?
Well, I mean, it's extra knowledge and information, so I'm sure it could, and he is listening right now, so I bet you he will answer that question as soon as next week. Or maybe sometimes he calls me in the week and says, hey, let's do another video. Maybe he'll have something even before then, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe you could just pick a game or two and just see, maybe analyze the coaches and their astrology and, well, the owners and, you know, something like that. And that's really all I had. Maybe if you could do that one week, that would help, you know, maybe get a little bit more consistent with it. Maybe
Sure.
That's the missing piece.
Sure, it very well could be. Yeah, I suspect that's true, so.
All right, maybe, hopefully you could follow up, or if you could follow up on that, I'd appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we'll do. All right, appreciate it, man. You have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, the more knowledge, the better. And Bronson, Florida again. Bronson, Florida. Is anybody at these Bronson, Florida numbers? So wild that I have so many calls from Bronson, Florida. No one there either. All right, let's try out Austin, Texas. How you doing tonight?
Great show, Zach. I'm just listening. Excellent callers.
Well,
I'm just listening.
All right, appreciate it, friend. You have a good night.
Bye, bro.
And let's go out to Big Al in Arizona. What's up, Big Al?
Hey, friend. How you doing tonight?
Well, you know, another day in paradise, as we always say. So.
Yeah. I mean, I probably missed a lot, man. I've been pretty busy today. So I was just looking at that XRP, the post that you did.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
It's pretty interesting. So 484 is the square root of 22.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And it's got the 48 and the 84 in it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting for sure.
And just how it lines up with the year 2022 from when it started. And I always knew that XRP was big on 22, but until I started doing some extra homework today, I didn't realize that it was first put on the market on February 2nd, 22. I'm like, look at that, another 22 with XRP. So.
Yeah, I guess I should have looked at that a little closer myself. That would have been easy to see. Speaking of 22, and this is the reason why I actually called you, the XRP thing just kind of, I saw that and just was looking at it while I was on hold. But so I think I told you we lost our dog on the one of our dogs. We had two dogs, right? On what day did we lose? We lost her. What is it? My days are all screwed up. January. We lost her on the 31st of March, right?
I see. Okay.
So let's see. So in April, May. What is the date today, man? I am so screwed up.
Today is the 21st. 21st.
April 21st.
Yeah.
So yeah, on March 31st, we lost her, right? Well, the other dog, I mean, you know how dogs are. They're kind of like pack, right? So, I mean, you could just see she was depressed and everything too. So we got her another puppy. Well, the day that we got the puppy, and my wife calls me up and she's like, you know, Luna, that's what we named her because Bella's, you know, they're like the moon kind of thing, Luna Bella. So we have a Luna and a Bella. And she told me her birthday is on February 2nd, 2/2, just like Bella's. I'm like, wow, that's really weird, you know?
Yeah.
And so today my wife told me that it was Peyton's birthday, right? That was the name of the other dog that we had to put down. Her name was Peyton. She had some type of encephalitis or something, disease of the brain or spine. But it was hard because, you know, she was almost 6. So today she would have turned 6. But from when we had to put her down to today, her birthday would have been the 22nd day of her age, you know? I'm like, wow, that is just awfully, because, you know, there's like a story behind it, you know, with my dogs, because, you know, my stepson, he's been out of the house for a few years. He bought his own home. So, I mean, our dogs are like, you know, are like our children almost, you know? And, yeah, it was hard. It was really hard, Zach, but the synchronicity of that, you know what I mean? Like, my wife was telling me, like, it's just wild, man. Like, what are the odds of that both of these dogs are born on the same day? Bella's 6, and she's like, you know, 2 months old, Luna, and we lost Peyton 22 days from, you know, her birthday.
Would it have also been 21 days after the dog's 6th birthday?
Yes.
So 21's the 6th triangular number and is 21. Jeff Young calls me up this morning and lets me know that his dog died and he's all sad. And then he gives me his dog's name. He says, you see anything in the numbers? I said, man, I don't want to do that for your dog. But I know his dog's name was 21 in the most pure cipher because it was an unexpected death. So it's just weird. I'm hearing about 2 people I know's dogs died with 21 connections.
Yeah, Peyton equals 22 also, by the way. I didn't even tell you that. So Peyton equals 22, Peyton. Peyton equals 22. She was, you know, passed on would have been 22 days from her birthday, and or 21 or 22, right?
Sure.
And the other 2 dogs, like I said, they're born on 2/2. And it's funny that you brought up the XRP today because is that a commercial, man?
It is. Sit tight. We'll be right back, everybody.
Commercial coming in.
Quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Truth Frequency Radio is your #1 source for news and information without the hate, hype, and fear. We're proud to feature cutting-edge programs like Beyond the Veil with Chris and Cherie Geo, X Squared with Brooks Agnew, Paranormal Portal with Brent Thomas, Sharonism Raw with Karen and Nissa, Fearless with Frank Castle, Strange World with Mark Sargent, The Eye of Ra with Ra Castaldo, The Infinite Fringe with Billy Ray, Ironworks with Josh Corey, The Kev Baker Show, and dozens more. Did you know you can listen from any telephone by dialing 641-793-7117? Or call into your favorite show, toll free at 833-TFR-LIVE. Uncensored talk and news you won't hear in the mainstream media. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
Pressing on with police reform. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. One day after the conviction of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will bring a measure overhauling policing to the Senate floor.
We must remain diligent in our efforts to bring meaningful change to police departments across the country, to reform practices and training, and the legal protections that grant too great a shield to police officers guilty of misconduct.
But Republicans have expressed concerns about changes to qualified immunity. The House passed a similar bill last year. A short time before the jury's verdict in the Chauvin case was announced, a black teenage girl was shot and killed by a police officer in Columbus, Ohio. Body cam footage of the shooting was released today.
Hearing the show a female attempting to stab one female and then another before an officer also responded with deadly force, shooting and killing 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant.
We have to ask ourselves, what information did the officer have? What did he see? How much time did he have to assess the situation? And what would have happened if he had taken no action at all?
Columbus Safety Director Ned Pettis, the mayor, says the officer took action to save the life of another young girl. The officer on leave as the state has taken over the investigation. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Vice President Harris will visit the Northern Triangle region in June. Fox News has confirmed the White House says Harris will hold a virtual meeting Monday with the president of Guatemala to discuss the surge in migrants at the U.S. southern border. Honda says it's confirmed a 16th death in the U.S. tied to a ruptured Takata airbag inflator in one of its vehicles. It says the crash involved a 2002 Honda Accord and occurred January 9th of this year in South Carolina. America is listening to Fox News.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. We got a little more than 10 callers, and we got an hour of show left. So everyone on hold, we should get to you. Again, if you guys can keep it short and to the point, always makes for the best call. And we're going back to Big Al, who got interrupted by the commercial. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm back.
Yes,
You there?
yes, we're back on.
Yeah, man, I didn't have much else to add. The only other thing I wanted to say, Zach, was, I've been out with Leo. We've been pounding some pavement lately, and, man, I really want to take it to these news outlets. We're going to find a way.
That's what we got to do, man.
Make contact with these people. Huh?
Right. That's what we got to do. We got to get the news to cover it and get it on TV.
No, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to find a way. I'll get them when they're going to lunch or whatever. We're just going to scope it out, and I'm going to find these people and put them on the spot, because these are the people that have to be accountable, right? I mean, if you're reporting lies every day, which we know they are, those are the ones that have to be accountable.
Indeed.
You're supporting tyranny.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, and the other thing I just want to say, I hope more people get out there and do the same thing, because this is really how I think we can make a difference. You know, I mean, you don't worry about the knuckleheads that, you know, aren't going to listen. That's fine. But, you know, so many people came up to us on the street and stopped their cars and drove and, you know, just talked to us, and so appreciative that we were out there doing that. Meaning, I know those same people would be right with us if there was more people.
Right.
So it's just got to be people like us, more people like us to get it going.
Right. 100%.
And thanks as always, Zach.
Of course. And thank you to Leo for getting out there and doing it. And I see you guys are getting censored too. They're taking down your videos, but Leo, I don't know if anything's left up on his channel, but there'll definitely be something again. Truth Over Fear. He's been videotaping Big Al and himself out on the streets of Tucson, getting out the word, just like we've been doing up here in Yakima. So appreciate you, man. Keep up the great work.
If you're out there listening, Chico, we're talking about maybe not this next Monday, but the Monday after, we're gonna maybe meet him up in Phoenix somewhere. So
perfect. There you go.
So if he's listening.
Perfect.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Zach.
Yeah. Have a good night.
See you later, man.
Yeah. Take care. And what's cool is Big Al and Chico already met, because they met in Seattle when they both came up in March of 2020 when we were getting out the word about what was going on and how it was all planned and plotted. And we've been right about everything we said that day. Let's go out to Toronto. Toronto, you're on.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Natalie?
Oh, man. I will say the bananas hit the fan. I can't swear.
Sure.
And Ontario with what the Ford government is doing and all this kind of stuff. My God, and then the Rogers blackout that Ben covered affected me and Sonny.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Holy crap. The bananas hit the fan.
Sure.
That's definitely what happened. So I have something interesting. I posted on Free to Find Truth. And it was below, he showed that O.J. Simpson post. It was right below that, actually. And it was about the distance between the CN Tower. It goes across Mississauga, where, I don't know if you know this, but Sonny and I are actually, I know she's not here, Sonny and I actually are from the same hometown. And it goes to Hamilton, and the spot that it locates in Hamilton is the Freemason Lodge of Canada in Hamilton. So between the CN Tower and then the map that I posted on Free to Find Truth pinpoints the Freemason Temple in Mississauga by Lake Ontario. And so from the CN Tower to the Freemason Lodge in Hamilton is 66.6 kilometers.
Huh, crazy.
Now we have another one from the Masonic Lodge from Hamilton to, we have the Skylon Tower in Niagara Falls.
I see that. Huh.
And that is 66.6 kilometers as well.
Huh, amazing.
And then from Niagara Falls, Skylon Tower to the CN Tower directly over the lake is 66.6 kilometers.
Huh.
And the craziest of them all is the Masonic Lodge angle, the angle that it's located at is 51.81 degrees, which is the same angle as the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Wow, that's amazing. Huh. That is amazing.
And when I sent Sunny this, she blew her, her mind was blown. You better look at this. Look what I found.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? And I live right there. That's where I live.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that all this years.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a really interesting find. Yeah, good research, Natalie. Thank you.
Yeah. So, yes, I'll only cover one just to keep it under 2 minutes. So, have a great day.
Okay, Natalie, I appreciate you. You have a good rest of your night.
See See you later, Zach.
All right, take care. Okay, from Ontario to Nevada, 702. 702.
Hello,
Yeah,
Zach?
yeah, you're on. Hello.
Hey, first time caller. I've been watching for quite some time. But I'm just calling in to shout out my channel. I started it like 3 days ago because I'm just sick of it. You know, I've been sick of it my whole life, you know, the same old story for those that wake up. Just hoping you can shout out my channel, basically.
What's your channel called?
Scripted Realm.
Scripted Realm, all one word or spacing or?
Scripted space Realm. And one, because I've been not deleted, but I can't, you know, the whole stuff that goes on. But I have 2 channels. It's 1 and 2, Scripted Realm 1 and 2.
I see him. I'm subscribing. So Scripted Realm 1, Scripted Realm 2. Okay, I know how hard it is to keep a channel up these days, so smart plan having them both ready.
Yeah, if you go through my 3 newest videos, I highly recommend, and playing it in order, it's in 3 parts. But I highly recommend playing that because I think the viewers would enjoy that. It's on my 2nd channel.
Okay, I see it.
And it's the 3 newest videos. Yeah, it's called Civil Obedience and T-Mobile.
Perfect. Very cool.
Okay, man. All right, thank you.
All right, keep up the good work. You have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so again, you guys, Scripted Realm, he's got kind of a green avatar with pictures of little white sheep in there. He's got 1 and 2 because he's already getting strikes, and it looks like he's going out and doing some things in public. I'm glad to see all the people stepping up and going out and, you know, just making a little bit of noise. So check out his work, and let's go out to Albany, New York, 404.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I just very quickly, I just want to promote my channel, if I may.
Okay.
It's called Debunking Gematria, because I really think it's a bunch of... No, I'm just kidding. It's me. I'm kidding. Okay. No, it's me, Zach. It's me. I just had a couple of, a quick... Your title of the show tonight is about the Queen, yes?
Well, we started with a little thing on the Queen and her 95th birthday and the scare at the London Bridge, and how the code name for when she dies is London Bridge is Down, which happens to equal 95, right?
Right. All right, well, I got a little something here about the Queen, and it relates to Back to the Future and the movie The Naked Gun.
Okay.
Just a very quick linkage. Forgive me, I just kind of threw it together, but Naked Gun, first of all, the movie Naked Gun in simple gematria is 110, and 110 stories each for the Twin Towers.
Okay.
That's the first thing. And there's an explanation in that movie about one of the villain is talking about building a structure that's 6 by 5, you know, a 6 by 5 structure, which is 11. Now, the Back to the Future movie, right in the beginning of the movie, the very first scene, it opens up and there's a bunch of cuckoo clocks on the wall.
Right.
In the very first scene, and they all read, the time is 8:18 on there. Okay. Now the first princess, Beatrice, I think her name was, she was born on 8/8/1988. Okay. And all the clocks on the wall say, you know, 8:18. Now, the other, I think it was the mother's name is Fergie. She was due to visit the World Trade Center on 9/11 on the morning of, but somehow arrived late. Okay. And in Back to the Future Part 2, it takes place in 2015, the bad Back to the Future, the one that Biff owns, the one that Biff plays Donald Trump in the movie, or supposedly. There are a whole bunch of, in the Sports Almanac, there's a whole bunch of little knickknacks and Sports Almanac about the Queen's visit, preparing to visit New York City in 2015. And I guess what I'm trying to link here is, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but in Naked Gun, there's a scene where the queen they're cutting a birthday cake, and it's a picture of the queen on it, and the person who cuts the cake cuts out a portion of the eye and hands it to the person, except that it's the one eye symbol and it's the queen's one eye symbol.
Huh.
So I know I'm just kind of putting all these together, but it was just a lot of strange little tie-ins to 9/11 and to the Queen on both of those movies that I just kind of observed. It was just a quick observe, but I just wanted to throw that out at you.
Well, it's interesting, and I am wondering if this is going to be the year she goes down in light of her little birthday ritual. So we'll see what happens.
Right, yeah, because she's 95 now, is it?
Right, she's 95.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's amazing that, you know, she made it to 91, which was in 2000. Well, I think it was in 2015. She was 91. So, you know, well, and in that Naked Gun movie, Reggie Jackson in the movie is brainwashed to kill the Queen, you know, like, because he's brainwashed, and Frank Drebin has to thwart it, and he's wearing the 44 shirt. Reggie Jackson is, and 44 is the same as the 44 caliber killer that the Son of Sam was known as back in the late 70s. So just a bunch of little interesting little nuggets here I wanted to just throw out at you.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Take it easy, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you have a good night. Technically, she turned 91 in 2017. Remember, her 90th birthday was 2016, and that was the day Prince died at 57 and a difference of 33 years. And Prince had recorded I Would Die For You in 33 years before 2016. We were talking a lot about that back then. And when you write out 90 as a word, it equals 33. And again, Prince was 57. England's 57. Let's go out to Atlanta. What's up, Atlanta?
Yo, this Jay with Open Argument. I just want to give out a little statement. Well, first, did you know that police brutality equals 188 and it comes to 188? Because I think you're talking about the 188 thing.
Oh, police brutality is 188 too, huh? Because it was 188 days. The
188 after his birthday.
Yeah. And, well, the one thing I always talk about with 188 is Bavarian Illuminati is 188 because the U.S. dollar bill denominations, the 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100, they add up to 188. So, but yeah, that police brutality fits in perfect too.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a little statement, just a little rant. Like, don't you just hate when people ask you, or when people come, because I've had several people do this to me ever since I came out. And started sharing this information. It's like, well, what is the point of this nose? What is the point? What is the point? You know, what is the point? It's just like the point is to let people know how everything they give us is contrived, and it's just,
right.
It's just so frustrating getting that comment. It's like,
the thing is,
especially when it's black people.
I was just gonna say, when people ask that question, it kind of reveals something about them. It's like, man, do I really have to explain that to you? Like, if you were 5 years old, I could understand why.
Obvious.
Yeah, a lot of people do ask that question, and I always think like these people have like the brain development of a 5-year-old. I could understand why a 5-year-old would need to ask the question.
They do.
But like a 7-year-old, I think if you're 7 or older, you should definitely get it. You shouldn't even need to ask the question.
But it's crazy because I'll have intelligent people who ask me that shit, and it's like I can tell that the cognitive dissonance just hit. And the brain development, all the 18, 20, 30 years of brain development just goes out the fucking window, and their brain just turns fucking smoother than baby shit, and they just don't want to hear it. It's just, it's so frustrating. It's like, especially when in regards to black people, because you go through our history, and whether it's true or not, but I'm pretty sure a lot of it probably is true, and you learn about things like Bloody Sunday and how all these people died for the right to vote, and then it's like, how does that not infuriate you, knowing that your people have been misled so many times and losing their lives over things that they shouldn't even been focused on because it never even made a difference? Like, that shit infuriates. That makes me so. That gets me so infuriated. It's like people that still ask, like, what is the point of this knowledge? It's like, I'm trying to show you how everything is BS so that you know not to feed into it. And most of their stuff only works because people choose to feed into it. It's just, it should be obvious. It should be self-explanatory. And it's like you can tell people just you could tell people just say that because it's like they just want to be critical of it, right? Because if you're asking what's the point, I mean, you could truly say that about anything. What's the point of the sports game? What's the point of the TV show you're watching on Netflix? What's the point of the YouTubers you watch that cover celebrity gossip and celebrity drama? It's like, but damn, I can't put out information to try and help people's minds and help them wake up to what's going on. It's like, why is that such a bad thing? You know, why do people have to, you know? And that's why I just have to realize, man, because I used to be a person who would always look for validation from people, and it's just like, bro, I just realized that no cocky junk, but I just realized, like, man, I'm so much better than a lot of people in this world.
That's what you got to realize.
It's like you.
That's what you got to realize,
like
man.
Said, I mean, why would you get upset about being made fun of people that sit on a fucking short bus? I mean, would you feel some type of way about getting laughed at or pointed at by somebody who's in a wheelchair drooling out of their mouth? I mean, no, because you know that person's retarded. It's like, why would I care about being made fun of or being called a certain thing by a retarded person? It's like, you showed him 330 days after the killing, 33 days from his birthday. I'm pretty sure if people, I'm pretty sure if they sentenced Chauvin to 33 years, people still wouldn't catch on.
Right.
They know they could get away with mockery like that. Most people would just make better use of their lives being in the ground, helping somebody plant grow. That's just the sad truth.
Well,
I'm not gonna feel some type of way.
That is how it is, sadly.
What you about to say?
I was going to say, that's how, for everybody who's afraid to speak up because you're afraid of what the other people say, I mean, you really have to go through the mental process of realizing that these critics of yours are people whose opinions should not matter at all to you. These are the dumbest people. These are the people dragging humanity to the bottom. You're going to worry about what the anchor weights dragging humanity to the bottom have to say? I mean, you should care less. So.
Exactly. And I used to be so insecure. I started watching your channel in the summer of 20. I discovered you in the summer of 2020, and the first time that I knew that they were doing something in numbers is when they had to mention that the knee was on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and I was just always wondering why they gave us that detail, because it didn't make any sense, and it didn't. You know, it was just like, why did that even matter? So you know what I'm saying? But I sat on this information for months. I didn't start putting this information out until election day. That was my first video because I was trying to show people how voting, you know, what was up with the whole voting thing. And again, it just goes back to history. It's like, I can't be a black person knowing how our people have always been misled and stuff like that. It's like, we've always given so much time and energy to stuff. A lot of people have gotten killed over this stuff, and people are really going to ask me, what's the point? It's like, what do you mean, what's the point? It's like, do you not know our history? Do you not know how we've been literally played throughout the entire time? You know what I'm saying? Like, these people have come here. I'm not going to say since we've been in this country, because I already know we was already here first. And they came over in here. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, and again, my second channel is already suspended. It's like, it's already on strike again. That's why I had to make 2 and 3. Because I know my second one's about to be deleted. I did the same thing the other dude did that you had let in. So I had to make the second, third one. You know what they took me down for again? They took me down for medical misinformation, because I made a video talking about the 3rd dose of the Pfizer vaccine, and then I made another video talking about the microchip, and everything that I put in that information was factual. It's like I literally showed it from the website of these people. But yeah, it's medical misinformation coming from me, even if I have the actual receipt in the video. It's just,
right.
You just know it's
and telling your own personal story. If you tell your own experience in the pandemic, like sometimes when I say, you know, all year I haven't followed the rules and I haven't worn a mask, and you know I've been totally healthy. Sometimes they'll strike you just for that. It's just like it's just
obvious BS, and the fact that they just gaslight people so hard. It's like I don't even bother speaking out because I know I just get gaslighted so hard. It's like, and you know, like when Fauci, because you know it's BS, because when Fauci's interviewing someone that hasn't got the vaccine and trying to persuade them to get the vaccine, he's saying, well, if you want to go back to normal, you got to get the vaccine and stuff like that. You need to be around family members. But then when you actually get when they're talking to someone who's gotten the vaccine already, they have to make all these excuses for why they still have to wear masks and still have to social distance. So it's like, okay, which one is it? You see how they do a complete 180 on everything that they say for the sake of narrative. You know what I'm saying? You see how they have to switch up their arguments and you have to switch everything up for the sake of argument. It's just, it doesn't make any sense, but then you bring this up to people and all of a sudden you're a conspiracy theorist. It's frustrating, man. I'm the only one in my family that's not getting that junk. It's just.
But again, it's just like, so last night we just take the latest case and we say, look at this name they're throwing out here today on the day of the George Floyd thing, another killing of a 201. Then the next day, they give us a video of the killing and the police officers driving around in a car with computer 201. And they happen to give us a clip that's 1229, like 1229, the 201st prime. See, we don't ever have to change what we're saying.
Yeah,
it just keeps adding up. Yeah.
Why people can't see that? It's like people were celebrating, and I'm like, people were celebrating, oh yeah, we got shot, and it's just all BS. The fact, it's like, even if this was, you still there? Wait, hold on, I think something happened.
I'm still here. No, you're fine.
Oh, okay, so it's like, even if this was real, it's like the fact that they even have to take this to trial when you clearly saw him on camera brutally murdering the dude. It's like it's just the whole system. It's just a joke. Like, why would people even celebrate this? Why would people even clap for this? But people can't see, people can't see the psychological game here. It's just psychological warfare. They give you a story for you to celebrate for. Oh yeah, we got Chauvin found guilty, and then on the same day they give you another police shooting of someone who's related. It's just, how do people not see how they're just effing with you? It's just, it's like, how do people not see this? And that's like I said, that's why you can't feel bad about people saying whatever about you, because it's like I just laugh. Yeah, I've had people tell me I'm doing this for clout. It's like, really? I'm getting censored over left and right. It's like, you really think I'm doing this for clout? But it's just, I ain't gonna keep it going too much longer. But I just had to make that statement. It should be so obvious to see why this knowledge is important. Because those same people asking, what's the point of this knowledge? Is the same people that's going out and getting this rushed out.
Exactly.
And all this other stuff.
Like, exactly, man.
My dad got it. It's just, my dad and his girlfriend got it, and they were effed up from the junk for like a couple of days, but they're fine now. It's just like, why would you? What's funny is that they probably wouldn't have even had what's funny is that they probably would have been fine. They probably would have suffered less symptoms if they would have just caught the virus itself. It's just, but they went out and they got a rush vaccine. It's just.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just like I had a person in Seattle come up to me and say, what's the agenda? I already got the vaccine. I said back to him, I said, you just made my point. You went out and got a vaccine for a nearly 100% survivable illness from someone your age. They're like younger than me. And I said, from a company that has a criminal rap sheet. You didn't even think twice about it. And they're like, well,
and I told people that, and they would literally ask me, what's the point of, like, why is that important? I'm like, what do you mean, why is that important? You don't think that's relevant? Like,
exactly. They don't think. That's the problem.
But yeah, they don't think.
We're going to commercial right now, friend, but I got your channel. We're promoting it, so hopefully you pick up some more subs. Keep up the great work, and I appreciate you. You have a good night, friend.
Yeah. All right,
take care, man. See you. I'm supposed to hear the music right now, and they're supposed to go to the commercial like right now. Well, now the music's coming on. Everything's off here tonight, but okay. We'll be right back to Truth Seeker. Last commercial break. Taking your calls the rest of the way.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By Christine, great for heart palpitations. By Anne, before I started using this product, every afternoon, my ankles and my hands would be swollen. That doesn't happen anymore. So if that part of their advertising is true, I have to assume that the rest of it is also. Not to mention that when I had my yearly blood test, only a few weeks after beginning to use this product, my cholesterol had dropped over 30 points. I'm going to continue to take it. By Croc, I love this product. It really works. By Brad, works great, thank you. Tell us your story. Get your Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER. Staff.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slows circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
He was the deputy director of MI6, Britain's most senior diplomat. He was knighted by the Queen and in charge of thousands of highly trained spies. But he was also a member of the paedophile information exchange. He had 45 diaries full of sex fantasies with children. His friend was the private secretary of Margaret Thatcher. He strangled a child and hit another with his car. He raped young boys and organized orgies with children for other politicians.
The Enigma Channel, intelligent television for planet Earth. EnigmaTV.com.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. We got about 15 people on hold. If everybody keeps their call right to a minute, nice and short, we'll get through everybody on hold. And before we go to the caller, I saw somebody in the chat say, how do you upload a video on YouTube? If you have a Google account, that's what it takes. You got to have a Google account, like a Gmail account, this type of thing, a Google login. And then in the top right corner, you'll click on the avatar for you, and then if you've never made a YouTube channel, there'll be something like create channel. You create your YouTube channel, and once you do that, you see this top right corner how there's these little pictures. One's a video camera with a plus on it. When you click that, one of them says upload video, and then you just upload the video right from wherever you got it saved. So it's really not that difficult to do. The tricky thing is keeping your video up with all the censorship. So that said, let's go out to Blairsville, Georgia, 706. You're on.
Hey, Zach, this is Hunter out here in Blairsville. I called in a few weeks ago, man, and I have a lot to say. Actually, the weird thing is, last time I called in, I think Jay with Open Eyes down in Atlanta, my other Georgia boy, called in right after me, and now we're reflecting that back and forth right there.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, but I have a lot to, I'll keep it real short real quick, but man, it's a lot of the same thing that he was talking about. I feel real defeated right now, man, because my biggest supporter in this whole truth element right here my mom, dude, I show her your videos all the time, and she's on board. She's with it. She's about it. She believes it, and she just went and got the vaccine, her second one. I didn't know she got the first one. She just got her second one. And dude, sick as a dog right now. Man, I just don't know what else. She believes it, and still went out and did it just because she felt like her job was going to make her do it at some point. And I just I don't know. I just feel like that someone was saying, "What's the point? What's the point?" And it's like, I know there's still a point to it, I guess, but man, when your biggest supporter right there just goes out and does something like that, just whatever. But
yeah, and that's a tough one right there. I mean, I wish she would have waited at least until her job put the pressure on her. But ultimately, that's why a lot of people are doing it. They just want to fit in and not have an interruption with their life or their work, and that's all it takes for a lot of people, sadly. So I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I guess that's what you're saying. Like Jay was just saying, like the whole fit in thing, man. I just don't get that. I've never been somebody that really gave anything about pleasing the other person. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet, man. I just wanted to say, man, I just feel defeated right now because like one of my biggest believers in someone, especially my family, family and friends, but the person that believes in this the most just went out and did one of the most unthinkable things in my opinion. You know what I mean? So, well, I'll let some other callers get in there, man. I just wanted to call and just throw that out there.
I'm sorry to that. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'd feel the same way. I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm just hoping that the dose your mom got is going to be just fine. But yeah, I wish she had chosen otherwise. Stay strong, friend. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Hey, you keep up the good work, man. Appreciate you.
All right, will do. Take care. All right, let's go out to Massachusetts, 617. 617, you're on.
Yes, sir. I already know I am. But
Okay.
Whenever I go in, I'm gonna tell you this right now, Zach. Whenever you hear, just know that means mental health check. I stream on Twitch also, so my voice is. I've been streaming for 6 hours today, and I just ended it, and my voice is gone. And so sorry if I sound like muffled at some point.
Sure.
But yeah, that's basically what this call is about. Just making sure everything's cool with you, Zach. You good behind the scenes and everything?
Everything's good over here, indeed. Yeah. Appreciate you checking in.
All right. I got you, man. You have a great rest of the night, dog.
You too, man. You take care.
Shout out to the chat.
Thank you. All right, so he's doing his thing on Twitch as well. 6-hour stream. That's a long one. Let's go out to Wilmington. Wilmington, you're on. 910.
What up, Zach?
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing, brother?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, man. Man, that last, the call before last, just hearing about it, I'm taking that vaccine. I know so many people going through that same thing, and it's weird, man, because they'll tell you, like, oh, yeah, okay, I understand what you mean by the experimental aspect of it and why you should wait. And then I continuously hear stories about parents and loved ones or aunts or whoever it may be going and getting the vaccine anyways. After we, I don't know what type of cognitive dissonance that is, but they got a spell on the population right now.
It is, man.
My main thing was,
it's magic.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they believe in this shit. Oh, excuse my language. They believe in this stuff as far as the Luciferian aspect of it, and I think there's something to that as far as the Bible's mentioning Jesus' complexion as being darker and hair of wool, and it could be a motive for why we see the Jesuits putting black people through this stuff, because they really take this bloodline thing seriously, which is you can look at the royal family and realize that how sacred they guard it. So if black people are all the descendants of the Messianic bloodline, not Masonic, the Messiah, Messianic bloodline, then that could kind of give some closure on the motive for why constantly oppressing and humiliating them in the rituals and things like that. But I just wanted to say, I've been in since 9/11. That woke me up. I knew something was wrong. I mean, I've been in the truth community searching for truth like a lot of us have. And I'll tell you what, I found your work about 6 months ago. I got both of your books, and I'm still learning to decode. So, you got a great community, and I appreciate that. And I just one of the things that stands out to me about this work in particular is the mathematic component to it. You cannot argue with it. At some point, you can't argue that all of these numbers continuously repeat in these patterns. If you're arguing with it, and that would be my advice to the callers and people out here, choose wisely where you exert your energy, especially as accelerated as things are right now. If you could point out some of these things, especially the 9/11 connections and Kobe Bryant and all that, and it's still not enough for people, then I would just move on, man, because it's accelerating at a fast rate. I like the idea of storming the news stations. I'm on Free to Find Truth, plugged into this and this community, and I appreciate it, man. I hope everybody stays safe out there, and thank you, Zach.
Appreciate you, man. Great call. Thank you. You have a good night.
Later.
Take care.
You too, bro.
All right, let's go out to California, 805.
Yo, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. Hey, I got a couple of things I wanted to share with you. So I was watching the History Channel, and I noticed that you used to live here in Arizona, and the Superstition Mountain, right? Okay. Very superstitious, very funky stuff going around there. And there was an episode called the Superstition Mountain Myths, right? Okay. And there was a group that was going in there and exploring it. And one of them happens to be a Mason, right?
Okay.
And they found a Jesuit cross inside of a cave, right? In the 6th episode. And after they found it, they canceled the season, right? They never went back. They never investigated it. But what was funny is that it was inside of a cave and it was untouched, right? So they literally just went up this like man-built. It was a mine at one point. And when they found what looked to be like a ladder, they went up there and they saw this Jesuit cross. They took a picture of it. They came down. This is all on video. You can find the seasons on YouTube. They came down and they went to talk to this one guy that apparently knows a lot about the mining situation there and all the myths and all this good jazz. And he was you could tell he knew kind of something was going on, right? And after that, it was like crickets, right? And so apparently they shut down the whole scenario. When they went back, the cross was completely gone. It was taken out of the rock. It was literally embedded into the mountain, right? And I just, I figured, I let you know because it's one of those deals that it's interesting because it ties in with the myths, right? And all the gold that's been found there and the missions that, the Spanish Jesuits, took into their own hands and they came through these own lands, right? And there's definitely a lot of history here in Arizona. So I wanted to share that with you and just a thought.
Very interesting. I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye.
Okay. And let's see. It is Milwaukee that is next. 414 Milwaukee.
Hey, Zach, what's going on?
How you doing? Thanks for calling.
I was just calling because... Pretty good. I was just calling because, just everything is crazy with this gematria stuff. I'm out here in Vegas, actually. So when the caller called in from 702, it just brought me back to Tupac.
Sure.
And the street that he was killed on, Kovar, he has the exact same numbers in every cipher.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yes.
I never noticed that before. That's a good observation.
Yep. So it's like they planned this stuff for a long time.
How do you spell that street name that he got killed on?
Koval. Koval.
Just like Tupac. Look at that. Perfect. Yeah, all 4 ciphers. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I never knew that one before. Great observation.
Yeah, that was just all I called for, just to check in with you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. You have a good rest of your night.
Yep, have a good one.
Yeah, take care.
You too.
New one right there. That was a good one, too. Let's go out to 605 Rapid City, South Dakota.
Hey, Zach, it's Eloy.
Yeah, thanks for calling back.
Hey,
Hey, no problem, man. I told you I was going to try to keep in touch with you, and that'll definitely be a fact. But I wanted to say a few things, if you don't mind. I know it's probably not relevant for what you got going on, but this is for all the coincidence theorists out there. So basically, I'm basically going to pinpoint the similarities between Kennedy and Lincoln. All right. So starting off, did you know that Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846?
Yeah,
And then JFK was elected to Congress in 1946.
100 years later. Yeah,
And
Jordan.
then-
This is the Jordan Maxwell
Yeah.
thing, right? The Jordan Maxwell list.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then it just shows like all the similar. No, it might be. I'm
I
not
think
too
it
sure,
is.
But yeah, it's
I
just
think
the
it's
most-
Jordan Maxwell.
Yeah, it's probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a list of all the similarities. I thought it was pretty crazy as heck. You know,
It is.
That's pretty much for all the coincidence theorists out there who think everything's just coincidence, because obviously that.
Yeah,
that right there can
for
show
people
you know,
for
like,
people who don't know the list he's have to read off, just search Jordan Maxwell, Lincoln, Kennedy. You'll find it. In my first book, I take that list and I
Yeah.
add on to it with Gematria to show the
Yeah.
parallels even
Dude,
further.
It's a trippy list. It's a trippy list, man. I can say that much. But yeah, pretty soon, like I said before, the night. Oh, yes, last night I think. But you know, I'm trying to get I want to get maybe a Gmail from you so I can get a contact from you, because when I hit the payment, I want to make sure I'm in contact with you while I
Number
do it.
Games Book.
So, you know, if anybody has any questions, I can link you to them.
Yeah, numbergamesbook@gmail.com.
Number games
book
at gmail.com.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. All right. So that way, all right. Just yeah, that was about it. I just thought I'd just put that out there for anybody who thinks everything is coincidence, because apparently everybody thinks there's coincidence in this world.
Yeah, I know, man.
It's weird, but
It is.
it's fucking it's weird, dude. Like all the people I've seen on your videos who, like, when you went to fucking Gonzaga, or I don't know how they pronounce it, but when you went to that Jesuit school and everybody was just like, oh, well, that's coincidence and this and that, and it's like, really, dude? Like you said before, those are our brightest minds, and that's all they can come up with. It's just fucking sorry. It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Thanks, Zach. Thanks for your time and effort, man. I mean, obviously you put in a lot of work and time into what you do, and it really pays off, dude. It really does. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll let some other callers get in there as well. But yeah, man. Good night, and keep your head up, man.
You do the
No,
same.
we got your back, dude.
Appreciate that. You take care.
You hear me?
Have a good night, man. Thank you.
You have a good one. Bye.
That's it. Okay, let's go out to Texas. Texas, you're on. 806.
Hey, Zach. This
Yes.
is Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy, what's up, man?
I found an article I was going to tell you about. Have you ever heard of the Ignatian year?
No, the Ignatian year.
Yeah, so the Superior General of the Society of Jesus, Arturo Sosa, he put out a letter on September 27, 2019, which isn't that like the Jesuit birthday or something?
That's the day they were recognized by Rome, September 27th.
Yeah, so he said that they're going to make an Ignatian year that starts May 20th of this year, 2021.
That's the anniversary.
And it's to recognize...
that's the 1 year anniversary of Adolfo
Yeah.
Nicholas dying.
Yeah, I guess that's another thing that...
Go ahead, though.
ties
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it's the 500-year anniversary of when Ignatius the soldier was injured by a cannonball in the Battle of Pamplona.
Huh.
And it says the year will conclude on July 31st, 2022, with the feast day of St. Ignatius. The peak of the celebration will be on March 12th, 2022, the 400-year anniversary of the canonization of St. Ignatius and St. Francis Xavier.
Huh.
So I looked at the dates that falls on, and May 21st, 2021 is the 141st day of the year, and Ignatian equals 141. And then the ending date, July 31st, 2022, that leaves 153 days in the year, and Jesuit orders 153. And I was just like, well, it's not good. They're gonna have a whole year of bad stuff to do in connection to this, but I figured those two dates
I'm sure those two dates will be like anchor points for all their rituals this next year.
Yeah, that's interesting how the year's about 14 months and 2 days then. Or no, July 31st, what was that? 14 months and 11 days. Because it's extra months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to look into that. I didn't know anything about this.
I see the total amount of days is 436 days. Yeah, I haven't like taken it all the way apart. I think that March 12th, the peak of the celebration, I think that's the 71st day of the year. So that's like the big Catholic number and all that.
It ends on the day that Ignatius of Loyola died in history, July 31st. He died in 1556. So it ends with the end of his life anniversary. Huh.
Okay. Yeah, did you find some articles about it when you searched it?
Well, there's a bunch of stuff that came up. I mean, I didn't start to dig into it yet, but I'm definitely going to, so...
Yeah. Yep. The Ignatian year.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they got, yeah, like I said, I'm sure they got some fireworks planned, so. Huh.
Yeah. That's only a month away, May 20th. May 20th.
Yeah.
But they announced it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep. Just a quick thought for the Wednesday show, and I'll let the next caller get on.
Appreciate it. Great work, Jeremy. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
Have a good night. All right. Angel called back in. She was waiting for a while. Hi, Angel. How are you?
Hi.
Thanks for calling back.
I can't lie. I hung up because I got nervous, and
Oh,
I don't
no.
even have any of my thoughts together anymore.
Oh, no. I'm sure it'll come. One beautiful thought.
But first off, I do want to shout out Gnostic Knowledge for reading your books, because it's very helpful when you have a very busy schedule.
Yes. Her name's Vanessa.
I
Vanessa's
listen
channel.
to them at work, so yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and all her little add-ins are hilarious. She cracks me up.
Yeah, she's great, Vanessa. So.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to say, like, thank you for pushing all the love and the knowledge, because it's inspiring, and I just think it's interesting because love is like the 5418, 5418, so
Yeah, perfect
it
symmetry.
must be something special.
Indeed, indeed. Well.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you've ever looked at like, I don't know, I went to Catholic school and stuff when I was younger, so I I know the Bible a lot, and like Ephesians 6:12. I've been thinking about it all day, but it talks about the principalities and the rulers of darkness and spiritual wickedness in high places. So I put like principalities in the calculator, and I can't remember the numbers right now. I took a screenshot. Hold on. It's just been on my mind all day. But so principalities, I believe, was 70. I had 79 and 92. And then I put rulers of darkness, and of course that's like 101 and 205 and 70. And then spiritual wickedness is 75 and 114. I think those are important. I'm still learning this. I just found you. So
That was a good idea. Those are definitely words I had never decoded before. So yeah, that's interesting. Those are great thoughts.
Yeah, it's been on my mind all day because, like, I don't know, that's like my favorite Bible verse because it's always told me the truth without like the numbers, you know, like who's spiritual wickedness in high places, that's evidently the Vatican, and then rulers of darkness of this world, that's evidently government, and then principalities, that's like our, like, what is it, laws and like social rules or whatever you call it. So,
Right.
Yeah.
For the record, the Ephesians 6:12 thing, there's a huge pattern with mass shootings in 6:12. Google really hates us putting out this because they even took down my blog posts on 6:12 and mass shootings, but a lot of it's still in my first book. And I think it has everything to do with that verse, Ephesians 6:12. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like, I also thought about it like 6, 6, 6, because 12 is 6 plus 6.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah. That's all I really had. Oh, and then I sent you something, so you should be getting it soon. Just a little care package so you can keep pushing the love.
Well, I look forward to that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, thank you, Angel.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I'm so nervous, but thank you, and you have a lovely evening.
You too. And you sound great, so nobody even knew you were nervous except for when you said it. But appreciate you very much, and have a great rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Okay. Let's go out to Illinois. Illinois, you're on.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, okay. Hey, Zach. Yeah, I was calling to tell you there's this basketball player that everybody's been talking about on the uprise. I was just talking about his birthday. It's June 26th.
Okay.
That's the 177th day of the year, leaving 188 left.
Yeah.
His name is Mikey Williams.
Okay.
Just about him. He be hanging out with the rappers, and all the rappers be hanging with him and stuff like that. It's nothing too major. Just watching how these athletes are chosen and all that. I've just been noticing that. That's just crazy. All of them have significant birthdays and whatnot.
His birthday's perfect because it's June 26th, so it's 26/6, like 266. The Jesuit motto is Jesus Salvator,
Yeah.
which is 266, like the first Jesuit pope's 266. And then it's got 56th birth numerology, Society of Jesus 56.
Exactly.
And then it's 177, like the
Yep.
Jesuit order 177. Yeah, so you're right. He has all the numbers.
Yeah, he's chosen big time. All the rappers hanging around. He was hanging with Drake and whatnot. And this is the other basketball star coming. I think he's going in the draft. His name is Josh Christopher. His is December 8th.
Okay.
December 8th. I know that's a big one, too.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them are big time. Yeah, I'm in Illinois. Yeah, I went to school with this basketball star named Rob Covington. His birthday is December 14th.
Okay. 12/14.
And that's a big one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wears number 33. Well, now he with the Blazers. He wears 23.
That's the day leaving 17 days left in the year. That's the day leaving 17 days. NBA 17. Yep. So.
Yep, and he wasn't even the best player on the high school team, but like I said, I think he was either adopted, but I for sure know that his people are Freemasons or whatnot. His people, he always wore 33 in high school. He wasn't the best player on the team, but the coach always looked out for him. He the only one that went to the best school. And all that. It's just crazy. And then I was trying to tell people about how this basketball shit is not what people think it is. And then how you gotta have connections and Freemason connections. People look at me crazy. I be trying to tell them about the rig sport. I took a hit on that March Madness when I was telling Gonzaga was gonna win, but Baylor pulled it out. But other than that, yeah. Everybody, they were happy that I was wrong, and they called me crazy and all that.
Yeah, they love them we're wrong. They love them we're wrong, man.
Yep.
Yeah, so. Anyway, keep up the good work. We're out of show, man, but I appreciate the call and the observations, and have a good rest of your night.
All right.
Thanks for being part of it. Yeah,
you too.
You take care.
All right, bye.
All right, Truth Seeker. Sadly, we are pretty much out of show, and any moment that music's going to kick on. And again, we're here every Wednesday night on TFR, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern. And we'll be back tomorrow, Truth Seeker. Okay, so that is the end of the show, and just in my personal life here, sweet lady. She's doing really well. She's passed all of her tests. She has one last exam next Monday, and then when she's done with that, she's pretty much done with her school and her studying and testing phase of school, and then she has a year left of in the field work essentially. But see if maybe I can convince her to go on a little road trip. So keep you guys posted, and we'll be back tomorrow. So Make sure you're following me on all the different channels I'm on due to all the censorship, and also on Twitch, because I need to get back out on the streets of Yakima with the megaphone. I took the last few days off, just because things have felt a little bit fishy on the corner in recent days, and again, that there are forces in this world who don't like what we're doing, but got to get back out there. So we'll leave it there for today, Truth Seeker, and until next time.